Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Wild and Weird Radio Live. I am Ron. That's Joe. Way over on the far end is what's his name? Brandon. And there in the middle
Leroy
with the red hair, that is Ashley Hilt. Ashley will be joining us this evening for to take some questions from you guys and to scare you. I mean, that's pretty much what it's all about. So
that's my goal every day.
That's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. Joe, pop up your volume.
We'll go through and say hi to everybody who's already sitting here in the chat. We've got Shane Lorison over here saying that the live streams are the highlight of my Thursday. What's even cooler is that all this stuff is local for you. Yeah, it's great. We love being your local supply of weirdness. Monster Radio, super excited for this. Ashley always brings the knowledge. Then there's Ron commenting back and forth. We've got the Dewster in the house of cryptids, critters, and paranormal. Not feeling well tonight. I'll be watching on the big screen in the living room from my recliner. Well, buddy, hey, you rest up. I hope you feel better, brother. And you just kick back and enjoy. I saw you got some paranormal equipment and you were starting to tinker and work on some stuff. So, you might have just pushed yourself a little bit more than what you wanted to today. Then Adam Good, executive producer, is in the house. He says, hope you feel better also, Dewster. Fishbelly, of course, as always, hanging out here in the chat with everybody. Ada Cox, how you doing? Chris Coots from over at Adulting Axolotls hanging out. And let's see who else we got. Scott Holbrook, what's going on, brother? Larry Hose is on time tonight. What's up, my man? Good to see you, brother. And I think that catches us up because everybody else is just talking amongst themselves.
Talk amongst yourselves.
So this show is brought to you guys by your the weekly wind up here.
Yeah, get those guys up there. Scroll them.
Our executive producers, keeping it free for eons and eons to come. This is Adam Good, Theresa of Theresa's Haunted History of the Tri-State, Dewey Edwards, the Dewster himself, Spooky Appalachia. That's old Jimbo. Where's he at tonight? I'm gonna have to.
Jim might not.
I'm mad, Jimmy.
Jim might not make it.
We got Larry Hose, Guitarchains Craig, Travis Aurednik, Geoffrey Steele, Russ Bailey, Chris Coots over at Adulting Axolotl, Ada Cox, Nancy White, Scott Holbrook. By the way, ladies, it was nice hanging out with y'all this weekend. BigfootLittlefoot, Tommy Swiger, Terri Summerfield. I'm expecting BigfootLittlefoot to show up about half an hour from
now. Jim couldn't make it. He's got some issues with a pet, and he's trying to get that straightened up. But he did send over some clips for us to play for him, and I do have that, so I'm going to be queuing that up at some point.
Land. I got to jump over and see that real quick.
Yeah, better check that out real quick. So
it's Seth, our buddy Seth over at the Felt Master,
the Felt Man. It's Felt Man,
Felt Master, Wild Sage Felt
in the house, y'all.
He's also a fantastic tattoo artist as well. He works there in Cross Lanes, West Virginia. So if you guys are ever looking out, Seth, I can't remember what studio it is you're with. Go ahead and drop that in the comments.
Yep, please do. I'm trying to find Jimmy's thing here.
But yeah, guys, so it's been a fantastic week. We recorded the other day with Ashley, and it was an absolute ball of a show. You guys get to hear that tomorrow. And I think you're going to enjoy it. It's at Nemesis in Charleston. Nemesis Tattoo.
Can you guys hear Jimmy? I just want to make sure. I want to make sure this is working.
I cannot hear Jimmy.
Hang on.
Sadly, I couldn't
Shane says, I see
my friends at Wild and Weird this month.
Can you hear him there?
Yes.
You could hear him? Okay.
Yes.
All right. So we've got that ready when it's ready. And I'm going to pull that back over here. And okay. Anyway, everyone. Yeah, we had an amazing show that's coming up for you guys tomorrow night at 8. It should post. And man, was it a blast, but it inspired us because it's about creepy flying things. But there are creepy crawly things out there all over. And so I'm like, well, let's talk about the creepy crawly things. And it was kind of an off thing by Ashley, because she said, well, you won't believe some of the accounts you're going to get because you brought this up. Basically open the can of worms, right? So yeah. So I'm like, well, let's let's go out there and see if we can find some other people to respond. And as Travis says, let's poke the bear and see what we get.
Yep, I was watching that a little while ago, actually.
That's all.
Catching up on season 3.
Oh man, you're getting ready to get into good stuff.
Yeah,
that's a good one. Hey, can you get me just a tiny bit more volume on your end, Joseph?
I'm pushing you with everything I got.
Okay,
man. I can maybe scoot a little closer.
Hey, there you go. That works. Okay. Everybody can hear you. That's all that matters. All right, so guys,
Jolly bugs in the house.
Yeah. So we've got what do we got tonight? We've got a new unlock for you guys, just to let you know. We've got I've made something for you. So there's going to be a new unlock tonight. We're going to see if anyone gets that, and we'll put that up. It's not just going to be a Sky Daddy blessing this time. So just going to let y'all know.
I just looked in the side and got it queued up to her. That way I can hit all the buttons that I just saw.
Yeah. So that's going to be anyone who goes over $10, Joe. That's what that is. So that's a $10 one that we're going to do. Okay.
It's the $10 celebration button.
Yeah. It's a $10 celebration. All right, guys. So let's talk about some weird creepy crawlies. And there's some weird creepy crawlies in the news too. We're going to talk about, Joseph. So
there are.
Let's talk about one of them weird creepy crawlies in the news, and let's get everybody's opinion going on here. And remember, our opinions are our own. They may only reflect our own opinions and no one else's. And you don't
and
have
just
to
so you guys can remember, opinions are like armpits, belly buttons, and buttholes.
That's right.
So everybody's got them, and the majority of them stink.
Yeah. Well, humans do. Anyway. So carry on.
Brandon, which creepy critter crawler thingy do we have in the news?
Brandon?
Oh, remind me, Joe.
Did you see something on the ceiling? Because it looked like you saw something up there for a second.
It's a creepy crawly on a ceiling.
What is that? Is that a rod? Perhaps a rod? Did a rod fly by?
God.
No.
Well, it was Brandon shared this thing with us, and I don't know if you'd call it a creepy crawly, because it was more of a creepy swimmy thing, but they called it the mermaid globster.
Oh, that thing. Ugh.
Yeah, so that was interesting.
No,
washed up in Papua New Guinea, of all places, and nobody can really figure out exactly what it is, but it's probably most likely some form of mammal, some sort of whale that has, entered an extreme state of decay.
Oh, it's extreme decay. Yes. What's your take on that, Ashley?
I mean, it's it's something.
I'm not going to show the picture because it's
on
disgusting.
the shore, and that's what I got for you.
Yeah, like if you guys want to envision what this thing looks like, just hawk a loogie.
Well,
Uh-oh.
Make it so. Engage. See, don't you feel blessed?
I love that one.
That's really cool.
I had to do that.
Shane Lorson says that the creatures are cracking. It's it's something. It's honestly, I think it's a small whale, especially with the back end of it. You can clearly see the tail.
Well,
I think that it
I
could
wanted
be
to see what we made.
It could be like a seal or something. I mean, honestly, it kind of looks.
Yeah.
The body shape is like a seal. It's like it just looks like if you cut off the top half of Ariel, it looks like the bottom of a mermaid.
Yeah. Like I'm leaning like dolphin or small whale species, because like there's not Papua New Guinea doesn't really have any seal population.
Do they know how big this thing was?
But it could, like, as the state of decay that this thing is in, it could have very well floated for 2 months.
Well,
You know, and the tide could have moved it.
You know,
And
it was about the size
could,
of like a
there's
pilot
the possibility
whale.
for a sills there as well.
I think it's a weather balloon.
I think you're
Weather
right.
balloon.
Yeah,
It's swamp gas.
it's swamp gas. Yeah, it probably smells like swamp gas.
You know.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. I think it smelled like swamp gas.
Yeah.
So, what other creepy crawly things are out there? You guys, this week, have you noticed anything creepy crawly out there? You guys, I'm talking to you, all you guys out there watching us right now.
Anybody out in the comments seen
Anybody
anything
out there
strange in the news?
Yeah, drop it in, or if you've seen anything yourself, because I got, we got a few UFO sightings. Turned
Yeah,
into,
we
so-
got some really interesting reports over the weekend of the powwow.
So we'll be talking, a little bit about that. We talked a little bit about them on the show. You'll have to tune in tomorrow to catch the full gist of that. But there's even an illustration. So, it's pretty cool. That was a cool sighting for real.
I
It
was
really
looking
was.
at my news that I do for my show. Now we record on Monday, so it's a little out of date, but I don't think you want any of these stories.
There you go.
To be honest with you.
It sounds like,
Ada says we had a snake at church.
Oh,
hey,
Well,
sometimes
I didn't know
that's
you
a
went to
good
one of
sign.
those churches, Ada.
That's how you start one of those churches, Joseph.
Right.
It's a sign.
I think I've told the story before here on the live about my snake box in the church incident.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe that.
we were there playing and doing a youth rally with a group down in Logan, and we almost picked up the snake box, and they did and the pastor got bit by a snake 2 days later. Surprise.
wasn't while he was weed eating.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, well, I'm trying to think if there was any really interesting creepy crawly news.
Other than the floating snot rocket that Brandon sent, I didn't see anything. I know that there will be
Any cryptids this week? Anything?
Other than the
real or
reports we
fake? I
got?
mean, real or fake?
other
Talking about
than
that
the
Bigfoot
reports
in
we got. Now I
Colorado.
know Ashley posted an interesting one over on her page.
did I?
The
What did I-
naked Fresno Nightcrawler.
The what?
Oh yes, the what is it? The caramel creature, I think is what it is. It's
Carmel
so
area
weird.
creatures, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, basically it's a naked Fresno nightcrawler that was spotted in Ohio actually, and I didn't really know about this story for a long time. I knew about it because I had taken down a witness report of basically the same thing, but in Columbus, Ohio, which is probably about 3 hours away. And it happened also in a different time period. This was like the year 2000. Some guy messaged me and is like, and I don't know who he is. He just messages me out of nowhere. And he's like, hey, I've been following you for a while. I wanted to tell you my story. I've never told anybody this before, but I was at work one night and we see, me and all my work people, there's like 5 of us, see this pair of giant legs walking around. He's like, they just kind of look like sticks. And they were just kind of, it didn't really seem like it knew what it was doing. It was kind of dumb and just kind of hobbled around on its stick legs for like 2 hours. And they were afraid to go outside. They called the police. The police didn't. They never even showed up because they thought it sounded ridiculous. And then it just left, and that was that. So I had gotten that encounter, and of course I'm like, I don't know, man. The Fresno night crawlers are kind of debunked, really. I mean, we have people that showcased how anybody could recreate that. I came across the caramel creature, which is basically the same thing, and I'm like, what is going on here? Ironically enough, like I said, from the description that I got, it didn't really seemed like it was here on purpose, whatever it was. It seemed like it was kind of stuck. It's a weird description. He said it just kind of, well, like it would like walk around the property on its little legs, and then it would kind of stop, and it would try to like interact with things, but it couldn't because it was just legs.
How pathetic.
I mean,
It's so weird.
it could have escaped the lamp factory where they make those Christmas story lamps.
Maybe. It's probably
It could
what
have. It
was.
could have. That might be what happens, or what the creature is before they split it up and put the lampshade on top.
That's
could be.
terrifying. You just ruined the Christmas story for about 500,000.
We
people.
we got a good. I'll tell you what. One of the Bigfoot reports that we got over the weekend, because we didn't talk about any of those on the show. We talked about the UFO report.
Yeah.
But one of the Bigfoot
Exclusive.
reports that we got-
Exclusive.
what is it?
It's an exclusive. So yeah.
Oh yeah. So one of the Bigfoot reports we got was there was a gentleman that was out in an area that he hunted all the time and had always had some weird feelings while he was there. But essentially, it was a carbon copy of John's encounter, the Tenney report, where he got yelled at and then got in a car and got yelled at and it vibrated the windows of the car again. It's that same kind of thing. It's really wild, definitely something not wanting him in that area for whatever reason.
Yeah, he felt the actual frequency of it. He
Yeah.
said, like the basing.
Yeah, he said he could feel like the percussive waves of this thing as it was doing what it was doing.
So
And it was like a vibration on it.
It was very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting story.
So, Ashley, I know I asked the guys, have you seen the trailer for California Monsters?
No.
Oh, it's Tom DeLonge's new project.
Hey, before you say, wait.
No, I like Tom DeLonge.
Oh, good.
I'm a huge Blink 182 fan,
Good.
and this was, when you watch it, you're like, how did this guy pull this off? I mean, the music's amazing, but like, this is Spielberg level quality.
It is.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
You
I
think
can't wait
you're
to watch
watching-
it. We're
you think you're watching
Kelly
a-
and I are planning on watching it this weekend.
I think you're watching a Steven Spielberg production when you see the trailer. I'm not kidding you.
I'm
Yeah.
so far behind on stuff.
Well,
right now.
the reason I'm so interested in this is because I would love to just ask Tom and be like, look, how much of this stuff isn't really part of the movie?
Yeah.
Like, how much of this stuff did you just put in the movie because you had access to the data?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, again,
That's what I want to know.
again, we know that Strieber did this with Majestic.
Yeah.
It's the same
Mhm.
play. None of this is true, but by the way, all of it is. And you can do that in works of fiction. So that's the beautiful thing about fiction. I can't come out and break my security oath or I'll go to jail, but I can write a really crazy, just made up story about someone else who did. Just saying, there are loopholes in all this. And then when it's coming out, now I want you to think about this again. It's so transparent at this point. In 2017, we had, the confirmation the Tic Tac thing was real. Or no, I'm not sorry. Came out in 2017, and 2 years later, it was real, because what happened between 2017 and then was Tom DeLonge and the To the Stars Academy group with Elizondo. They managed to put this out on TV. They managed to put it out there, and everyone got to watch weekly what these guys were pushing out. Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
It was over. It had 2 seasons. It was over. And there you go. So it's kind of the same kind of play that you're seeing now. We're seeing Tom release this, right? And we know that Lukatsky his book just broke like every wall imaginable, and we're not even talking about it. I don't know why no one's talking about this. I have no idea why no
We'll
one's
talk
talking
about it for a minute.
But apparently, well, I mean, don't you find it amazing that no one has said anything?
Yeah,
really?
it's just radio silence.
It's just radio silence. But
I
for
don't
that-
anymore because that's how this has gone. So I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised at the same
Yeah,
time.
I mean, yeah, right. It's the same kind of thing. But we paraded Grush up and down the streets, and he was on every talk show. Still is. He's making the circuit right now. which is probably part of it as well. But you had Lakatsky come out and say, "Oh yeah, well, ALSAP, oh yeah, those guys, yeah, they had a UFO, they had some kind of a vehicle. We got inside of it. I can't talk about it any more than that. Must have come from Roswell." I've added that because of Grush and his.
Can't talk about Roswell.
Can't talk about Roswell, and it
Or might
almost
not have
seemed
come
like
from Roswell. I mean, according to Bob, we had a few.
well, not just him, but a few others. Even Grush said we had like what 12 or 13 or so. I don't know, 9. I don't remember the magical number. Doesn't really matter. One's enough. I mean, let's be real. One is enough. You dig up one, okay, you got a story. My God, if you dig up anything over one, we've got more in a story. We've got to rewrite history at this point. And I think that's where we're at with this. And I think that we're getting ready to see some really interesting stuff come to the forefront very shortly.
Well, I mean, Lou was on X or Twitter or whatever we want to call it these days, and made an announcement saying that there's something coming in early 2024 and that he can't really go into it anymore. But anybody who's followed him knows that whenever I tell you something's coming, something's coming.
Oh, he's got quite the track record. But we've been saying that too. We said December or January. Yeah. And it looks like we're right on again. So I just don't know what it is. But yeah, something definitely is afoot.
So what do you guys think about all this stuff out in the comments? Everybody over there in the chat. What's everybody think about some of this information and how it's being disseminated or lack thereof?
Did you guys see the interview that Kirkpatrick did with CNN?
I did not.
No.
Wait. I think I saw a clip about it, but go ahead.
They asked him how many reports that he receives. They said they receive dozens per month, and most of them are debunked as being something like a balloon or a drone.
Owls.
Or probably swamp gas.
It's owls.
But he said there are some
swamp
they actually
gas,
have no idea.
100%.
He also didn't give exact numbers. No. So that's pretty weird.
Well, I'd say the exact numbers might even be of a classified nature.
Probably.
Oh yeah.
Like we know his job is receiving data, so we know he's getting it, but it could be a classified nature, like of how the exact number. Shane over there says it terrifies me.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. Let's just say that it's interesting.
I think the best part is at the end of it. He said that the Pentagon is preparing a new portal for. There's going to be one for former and current employees, and then another one for public reports.
They admitted to a portal, ladies and gentlemen.
The modulator has returned.
They admitted to a portal. What can we say? Right
Yeah.
there it was. When you ain't gonna. Oh yeah, the modulator. Yeah, you aren't gonna find entertainment like this for this price. I'm just saying.
They had talked about the portal there towards the end of season 3 with Skinwalker Ranch. Travis was talking about him again with what they were finding. Oh, what do we got here? Oh,
he's just coming to listen. He's just listening.
Coming in to listen.
Yeah. Making sure you guys.
Hey, Lana Cat, what's up? I lived in the Nevada desert. More interesting to me than what went over at the range were some of the RHW ancient petroglyphs in the area, and the SW has been visited for a long time. Yeah.
He would agree too. Yes.
Yep. There has been quite a bit of activity in the Southwest forever. Like, and we're seeing that across everything. Like we're seeing that through Australia. We're seeing it in Italy. We're seeing it in France. We're seeing it here. It's one of those things where
we've definitely seen the increase.
You can't hide it. It's literally written on the walls.
And that's the problem. You see, because something is going. All right. So just let's play a game. Let's say that someone knows that something very big is coming, okay, and it's really big.
It's
Like,
Planet X, isn't it?
I mean, I don't know. It could be.
They've been saying it all this time. I mean,
They gotta get it right
I
one
know,
day.
right?
Gotta get it right one day. So let's just say it's some kind of mothership kind of deal, or it's a scout ship. I don't know, scout ship or something, right?
Hmm.
Either way. So we found out that this thing's on its way. Well, we don't know the intent. So the best thing that we can do is probably just go crazy trying to figure out, is this friend or foe? And what should we do next?
Yeah.
If I'm right, then there's a lot of people who are very, very, very worried right now. If I'm right. So we'll see. Only time's going to tell on this one, guys.
I think something's happening. I think somebody knows that something's happening. My theory is a little bit different than yours.
Yeah.
But I think that's why all this is happening now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I think that there's not going to be able to cover it up, is what I'm thinking. Whatever it is, there's just too many people, too many eyes. And, everyone believes everything now anyway, so it's not going to be hard. So,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Shane says, I don't want to be murdered by extraterrestrials or eaten.
You probably won't be.
I mean, we have too much influence from things like V and War of the Worlds and Mars Attacks.
Yeah, we do.
It's
don't
like integrated into pop culture for us to not at least have that in the back of your mind that these things might just show up and ack you to death. So,
I mean,
maybe.
I'm just saying, I'll be the first person that will forsake any other human being for a new alien overlord. So don't hang out with me. Don't come find me when this happens.
Take me off this rock.
I'm not your friend.
Yeah.
All right.
Off this rock. I'm done.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about what the show, tomorrow night's show, is actually going to encompass, because you said we're actually on a anniversary right now, right, Ashley?
It is. It's the anniversary of the Jingjian atmospheric beast creature thingy that hovered over a Chinese military school for a really long time. It was chased by fighter jets, and it was super exciting. We caught it on a radar, multiple radars.
Mhm.
Well, the Chinese did. So it's pretty neat. One of the things we kind of talked about when we had recorded was how, atmospheric beasts are really kind of easy to dismiss, but they're not when you have an event like that. It definitely adds a lot more credence and credibility to the possibility of whatever this thing is. So
It absolutely does. I mean, you've got military jets chasing it down. So, you can't say, well, that was probably, swamp gas. I had to do it because, there's a little more there than swamp gas. You don't send out fighters typically to take down swamp gas, what I'm getting at,
Yeah,
right?
no, fuel's expensive, and so is ammunition.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely something if you're going to all those lengths to take it down. And what's more incredible to me is that they even got a picture of this thing, right?
yeah.
Oh,
You guys see that? Can
Yep.
everybody
never
see
seen
that?
that before.
Everybody out in the land, can you see that? And there's the story right there. That is from Cryptid Wikipedia, actually, the Cryptid Wiki.
It looks vaguely familiar.
That was a free blessing for everyone that Joe just gave. You all should at least hit a like button or a share or something for that, because those aren't cheap. Those aren't cheap.
A blessing with a $10 value. Yep.
Yeah. I figured that covered the cost of making that.
It's better than us sending people jars of our tears.
I'm not doing that.
You sure about that?
Yeah.
I'm sure there's probably a demand somewhere.
There could be a market for that.
There could be. There could
I'll
be.
have to see.
So have any of you guys out there, any of you wild and weirdos and weirdettes, have you guys heard or of any of these atmospheric beasts, these sky things, these these things that people are seeing either in the sky or catching on camera or something like that. Because this one, I mean, I don't know. That's not lens flare is what I'm trying to get at here. That's,
Right.
Yeah. Not
Even
not
the
lens
photo is better. If you type in, if you Google atmospheric beast, you'll get a bunch that are clearly,
Yeah.
I think clearly just lens flare. This is not that.
that is not lens flare.
This is not that.
No, I don't know what that is, but it is not lens flare. And like it says, 140 people saw this thing. So, we have to wonder at that point, 140 people,
Yeah.
we've got a Mothman type thing going on, don't we? Where they have multiple witnesses seeing the same thing that shouldn't be there. And then you got a bunch of people saying it's probably either real or, well, Larry gets one. We just have to wonder where they're going.
Yeah.
It's kind of ominous.
Thanks,
There's-
Larry. We appreciate you, man.
Well,
Keeping it free.
according to
Keeping
Joe,
it
they're
free,
going to
baby.
spawn. So
Oh yeah, that's right. You'll have to tune in for that, but probably just plug your ears at that
that's
point.
all I'm going to say about it.
Yeah. There are always those parts where you have to plug your ears when Joe starts talking on the show. You guys have come to learn this by now. It's all good. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Checking
Well, and
the,
remember the 140 people, these aren't like just civilians. These are people that are part of the military flight school that it was hovering over.
That's right. Yeah.
So this was all, this was a big event, and it got like a little teeny tiny clipping in a local newspaper, and that was it.
Oh, my question is this. This was what year was this? 1998, right?
1998.
Okay. Can anyone remember? Help me here. Can anyone remember? Brandon, you might want to be ready on your Google search finger that you usually do. Do you remember when the last atomic or last nuclear tests, open air, were conducted? Anyone? Because I know that the treaties were signed in the 90s, but I don't remember when the last test was done.
Should I be Googling it too?
Oh, no. I figured these
September
guys.
2017. That was North Korea. Oh, Rocket Boy.
Okay. Wait, what?
Yeah, it was Rocket Boy in 2017.
2017.
Rocket
Okay.
Boy. Is that a new credit? Rocket Boy?
That's the North Korean dictator.
He's
Mash the red button.
talking about Kim, whatever, young.
On
Rocket Boy.
1999, on October 13th, is when they passed that no nuclear weapons test ban.
Okay. So before Kim Jong did his thing, what was the last one?
Prior to him, it was Pakistan had tested in 1998.
1998.
Just so happened to be the same year.
1998. What month?
Their last test would have been in. Let me see.
See, this is how my brain works. I told you. You'll see that on the next show too. It's just useless information.
That would have
Looks like a
been
new kaiju to
28
me.
May and
May?
30 May was when of 1998 was when Pakistan detonated.
Mm-hmm.
So 6 months prior.
So 6 months before. We have to think about that, don't we? Rocket Man. Yeah.
Scott Daddy Matthew McConaughey is a jealous and narcissistic god. That's why he knocks out all those rockets over North Korea anytime they get launched up. It's like, well, tomorrow.
Probably. That's probably what it is.
No rocket for you.
So what if, just what if they, because it has been pretty sparse. We talked about this. There were a few of these sightings back in the day, right? But then all of a sudden, not so many.
So is this like the Godzilla theory?
I don't know, but it sure sounds something like it, doesn't it? I mean, that's kind of where it points, you can see where they came up with the idea for Godzilla, at least. Or Mothra, I should say. It's flying, after all.
I think there is a kaiju that's a big sky atmosphere jellyfish.
Oh, really?
I believe so.
There's
I think.
what triggered
Is the
that?
sustenance for the Sky Daddy.
Oh, would you quit?
Go ahead, Ashley. I won't interrupt this time.
I don't know what it's called. I have no idea. If Ryan's still in chat, he knows.
Well, these two
but-
don't know because
There was the
they're
one
like,
made of like pollution. It was called Hedora, and it could fly. Is that what you're
See?
thinking of?
Maybe it's made
See,
out
I
of
told you.
pollution.
I
It's
told you.
swamp gas.
It's swamp gas.
Is that
Yes.
what it is?
Basically.
yes, it is swamp gas. That is absolutely correct. So,
Roger Blair says, howdy. How you doing,
hey,
brother?
Roger,
Thanks for joining us.
you guys got any weird stuff out there that you're seeing in the woods or skies or anything? Let us know. It's spooky season. I hear there's all kinds of crazy stuff out. I haven't gotten anything out yet, so
Uh-oh.
I know.
I've got all my decorations out. We just haven't put any of them up.
I haven't even got mine out, dude.
Me neither. It's. I'm like, oh my god, it's the 20th tomorrow.
I know. I know. The Gora, the space squid.
The space squid.
There we go. This is why you people are wonderful. I think that probably deserves a thing. Yeah, that was totally
Space
worth that.
squid, space jelly, whatever.
Space jelly.
I'm still fairly, concerned about the gelatinous goose.
Don't do it. Yeah, it's okay.
Star jelly.
Yeah, star jelly. Yeah.
Would you guys eat it? Would you try it on a cracker? The star jelly?
I mean, I would just about eat anything. So, I mean, depending on the odor,
He totally probably would.
like I've eaten durian before and it was terrible.
Oh
Why would
god.
you eat that? Why would you do that?
I've heard people say it's really good. It just smells really bad.
It tastes is like the problem is you have to not breathe through your nose when you eat it, because if you do, your nose and your taste buds are linked.
You'll die.
So they
Yeah.
do this thing where like they transcribe the data for one another, and if you're smelling the stank feet, it
Ugh.
tastes just like it's like a Which
God.
that was what I did wrong. I did not
People
close
are
off my
sick.
nose when I ate it.
I heard a story that someone opened one in their apartment building and they had to evacuate the whole building because it stank so bad.
That would not shock me at all, especially like in a bigger city. Joe would just season it and cook it. Let's see who that was.
No, it's
That's
true.
Jennifer Skywalker over there.
That's true. That's
Yeah,
absolutely
you're probably not
true.
wrong.
Yeah, you know this as well as I do.
Speaking of Jennifer, I think I owe you guys $3.99 or at least an Amazon rental at some point for exposure to Sky Jelly, or at least someone else's exposure to Star Jelly.
I would start a new club for it called the American Star Jelly Society.
No.
I'm gonna go right now and make that on Facebook group. That's our new one.
Monica says, I think Kroger has ectoplasm on sale this week. Hey guys, okay, so I have a really good recipe for ectoplasm if you ever need it for your
No, for real.
or for a Halloween party, but just prepare to poop later. I mean, you
course.
weren't
Why
already
is it-
not
no,
planning on
stop.
pooping, but like it's Metamucil.
Stop. Just wait.
You
can't
mix
say anything.
Metamucil.
You can't say anything without it being something to do with the poop or, falling out of the sky. What is wrong with
They're not. It's not Metamucil. It might be Metamucil.
what?
What's that?
Okay, what
It's,
is the recipe? I want to hear it. I'm curious. Let's hear
powder in powder form. Let's see it. I think it's.
Are you talking about making ectoplasm
Yeah,
with
no,
your
it is
body? Or
Metamucil.
like,
Yeah, so you can,
Yeah.
it's Metamucil and a little bit of green food dye and some green Jello, and it makes a great ectoplasmic goo, and it's
Oh
pretty
my
tasty,
gosh.
but fiber. So be prepared.
So it's good for you.
Yeah, it's good for you
Mm.
because you got real gelatin, real fiber. You know,
You know, it might be like the slime they had on Nickelodeon.
she says, "You owe me."
That's a state secret, I hear.
Julie, but can you imagine someone coming into this part of the show?
Yeah,
that's
I always
what I
say
cross
that,
my
Julie.
fingers on every time. And normally when they're coming into the chat, like we can see who all's coming in over there, and the number
I see
just
'em.
ticks up. And normally the goofier and grosser I get, the higher the numbers go. I don't know. I don't know what that means.
Now, usually it's like one person pops in and then they're just like, yeah, I'm out. But, you know,
Guys, you got to see these weirdos. Share.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Please do share. I always forget to do that. It's almost like we can't remember we're actually on social media.
I know,
We just
right?
have fun. But yeah, for the love of goodness. Yeah, please like, subscribe, share, all that stuff.
Lisa's here. Hey guys, sorry I'm late. Long day. You missed
Lisa!
the best part. We just got done talking
No,
about
you
all
didn't.
kinds of disgustingness.
Good timing, Lisa.
A lot of
Beautiful.
cat star jelly of the month.
I'm about done with this. This is not going the way it should.
Yes, we're starting that now. We'll give you 10%, Lana Cat.
I think I'm gonna make that one of my Patreon tiers.
You should.
Yeah.
You should.
Yeah.
Oh man. Mike Hacker, what makes wood glow in the dark? Well,
Good question, Mike.
depends on if the wood itself is glowing in the dark or if it could be a series of either foxglove or jack-o'-lantern mushrooms.
Hey, Mike, I got a question. How bright was it?
Yeah. Because both of those are pretty dim glowers unless you're like in a new moon situation.
What,
if
no
it's
joke
if it's
about the moon?
completely black overhead, then you have a better chance of seeing it. But without that, it's kind of hard.
We do have fungi that glow in the dark in this area, don't we?
Yeah, it's jack-o'-lantern mushrooms and foxglove.
It's fungi. You know.
Fungi there, but I don't know if any of the slime or any of the slime funguses glow though. Let me look.
You know, I can't remember. I thought there was one that did.
And it could glow under a specific light.
Yeah, I mean, like, and it depends
Oh,
on
yeah.
the brightness. There is one, right?
There is one, but it's not from around here. It's not
Yeah.
in the rainforest.
Yep.
Yeah, it's glowing phacerum.
Yep, exactly. But a lot of people
Mike
do
Hacker
see
says it was kind of dim.
the dim. There you go.
So it could have been that. But was it the wood itself glowing? Or was it the like something around the wood that might have been casting light on it?
Yeah, it could have been either one of those things.
But Star Jelly of the Month Club. I'm stuck on that one. That's a good one.
So I had a fun thing happen.
Did it
I was,
involve goo of some sort?
No, it's nothing to do with that. No. No. We were it's happened a couple times now. And I don't know if anyone else has experienced this because there's a few of you from the area. Going toward Ravenswood, there's an area which seems to mess up, for whatever reason, the electrical system in our vehicle. Well, first time, the GPS put us like way off the charts, like literally way off the charts. Hey, Angie. Then the last time, as we're going through there, the whole system just died. Everything just went off. Like we thought the monitor went out, everything had to restart it. and it came back up. It's about 7 or 8 miles outside of Ravenswood where this happens. So the last time I was out there, I took the equipment, and I took the analyzer, I took the tri-field, and of course, the Geiger counter. Got my baselines going in, got our baselines out there. Nothing happened. Clearly nothing happened. You can imagine that. But I did find a lot of cell towers there. There's quite a few of those, and I could locate them just by the spectrum analyzer. I could tell when we get close to it because we jump up to about 1.99 gigahertz or something. And so I think it's around 2 that they're broadcasting on or something. I'm not really 100% sure on that, but it seemed like they were very close by. But there was nothing out of the ordinary this time. So I'm just wondering if anybody else has had any issues like that, any spots out there where you're having electrical issues in your vehicles or whatnot.
We always do in West Virginia. We just assume that it's because of
it's West Virginia.
Because it's West Virginia.
Yeah, pretty much.
I've never had this happen. This was weird, and that it happened twice. I'm like, okay, well, the next time we're going out, we're taking the equipment, and we did, and of course, nothing happened that time.
So now you're going up 77.
Mm-hmm.
Was this after you'd already gotten off the exit, or was it?
This was approximately 7 to 8 miles before the exit. That's where it happens.
7 to 8 miles before the exit. But
Not
there
far
is
from where Andrew told
country
for
club
sure.
near there. In that ballpark. Let's see. I'm looking to see if there's anything, because I used to drive up that way all the time because I had the
Yeah,
Ravens.
you did. Yeah.
But I never used any kind of guidance because I drove up there literally 2 to 3 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you've got Allied Plasma is over there. I mean, they're like 10 miles away over on the edge of the river, but it's adjacent to Ravenswood.
Yeah.
You've got...
Yeah, I don't know anything that would be over there, honestly, that we would know of.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything like on the ground that's marked or anything.
Right. And there's no, there's no airports or anything there. So there shouldn't be anything causing a radio blackout. But that is interesting. I did record a couple of bands, a couple of spots where the whole spectrum just drops off for just a couple of seconds and then comes back on. But it didn't affect the vehicle at all, of course, anything like that. And it was up in the upper bands too. It wasn't in the lower bands. So I don't know. It was kind of weird, but it's not anything unusual. I was just wondering if you guys out there had experienced anything like that to let us know.
Maybe there was something flying overhead that messed with you.
Who knows? I mean,
Bigfoot Littlefoot says, just got out of the woods. I made it. See, told you guys we're at about a half an hour from when I said it. It'll be here in about half hour.
There it is. Yep.
Like clockwork. What's going on, Bigfoot Littlefoot?
Any luck out in the woods?
Adam Good. Ron wanted to cut out the Sky Daddy Matthew McConaughey, and now Joe is giving him star jelly eating. You select the plasma that keeps you on the regular on making Earth. This is Sky Daddy smiting.
Hey, what's really funny about that, Adam? You need to watch tomorrow night's episode when we're talking about tonight's episode because it's time travel.
Yeah.
You just self-fulfilling prophecy right there.
We're pretty good at it. Can we tell people what star jelly is? Because I don't think I
think we probably should, because everyone's out there like, what are they
talking about?
What are they talking about?
So I'll tell everybody. So star jelly are these random translucent blobs that fall from the sky in different places in different parts of the world and different times. Nobody really knows what it is. It's where the movie The Blob was inspired from, was an incident of this weird blobby gelatinous material. Some people speculate that these could be the dead bodies of the atmospheric creatures, most notably the jellyfish, because they're already gelatinous. So that's what star jelly is. But Joe disagrees. So
Oh no! Don't you even bait that.
I'm not doing it. No, you gotta listen to tomorrow's show if you want to hear Joe's theory.
Yeah. Joe has a theory. You'll definitely hear that theory.
It's a theory, all right.
That's enough of that. But so what's crazy about this is that there's actually been some modern incidents of sky jelly, and of all the weirdness, it was actually during a meteorite fall, and I believe it was in Australia, if I remember correctly. You go check that out, Joe, and see if you remember what year that was. I mean, it's recent. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it happens every little bit. Every little bit, this weird jelly that falls from the sky, and we're just like,
well, what about the weird falls that used to happen? The people, the fish, the frogs, and it was like, oh, that was just people finding frogs after a rain. We've all been there.
Yeah.
We've all seen that. That's no big deal.
sure.
But
I
then,
remember one explanation for the jelly falling out of the sky that actually made me laugh. One scientist said that it was probably a cyclone out in the ocean that happened to hit a whale carcass and just like chewed it to pieces and chucked it up in the air, and it just happened to land in that one area.
oh my God. Do you know how
That's the best you can come up with?
Someone just loved that, by the way. I just
mean-
watched a heart go up here in the comments. What
You're
is
welcome.
wrong with you?
What else
I
do you
mean,
got?
if you
got
love
something better, Ron?
Then definitely tune in tomorrow at 8.
Yeah.
Because you're just going to go ecstatic over Joe's theory.
It's gold, guys. It's gold. So in the star jelly department, I'm not seeing anything over Australia that I'm able to find here. The most recent was a 2013 event in England.
What did they have?
And it suggested, well, it's these blobs of goo, as it suggests, star jelly.
Yeah.
And they I guess the official statement from England was that it's very likely regurgitated frog or a form of cyanobacteria.
You kind of dithered out there. Try that again. Frog what?
Innards.
What?
Regurgitated frog innards.
I'm glad you did kind of,
Yeah.
go out there for a second.
Yeah.
But now that I've heard it, I can't take it back. So it's okay.
So, Joe, would you eat it? Is that?
I mean, it's technically, if it's the innards, it's technically the most nutritious part. So why would something regurgitate it?
I think this is going to be a news.
I mean, I don't know if I would eat that.
It's going to be a
Will
new
Joe eat
show.
it? That's a new
I'm in part of the
segment.
show called "What Has Joe Eaten?"
No, it's
Yeah,
gonna be
right.
called, Joe, would you eat that? That's
Like,
the
I mean,
name.
I guess, I guess it's partially digested for you. So, I mean, maybe if I didn't have any teeth, it would be on the menu. But I'm good.
Ugh,
Everybody's over here gagging.
oh my God.
I think it's safe to say that if it doesn't have a proper first name, Joe would probably eat it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It'd be tough. Now, so BigfootLittlefoot just said, I met a neighbor a few days ago and we spoke about deer for a sec. Then he asked if I'd heard a loud screaming or odd noises behind his house. And he said, yes. And I asked what he thought it was. And he said, Bigfoot. And he said, yeah, I believe you're right. I mean,
Yeah, well, could be.
you got it. Yeah, it's a good chance.
Probably more credible than
Julie Bugs. I got everybody. Everybody over here is like just.
Oh, look at you. Is that your goal? To make everyone Mr. Yuck? Yeah, kind of.
Adam Good says frogs regurgitate their guts all the time.
What?
I mean,
So, Joe just lives his life like
there's
he's
a
on Ticket
defense
to the Parade.
mechanism where some frogs can like regurge their innards, but then they pull them back in
Weird.
Yeah, that is true.
because they need those to continue
Frogs are
on.
Weird.
Frogs are weird. Very
Very
weird.
strange.
Very strange creatures. So,
So I have
go ahead.
interesting reports.
Go ahead.
Actually, the guy talking about the deer reminded me of it. So this is a report that came in from somebody who follows me on social media for what I do. But the report wasn't from them. It was from one of their regular people friends. So he was out hunting. This was in Texas. I'm not going to name exactly where quite yet because it's
Tejas.
confidential. Yeah, Tejas. He was out there hunting with his teenage son, and they had seen these deers that were kind of in this area that were kind of like circling this area, and it was just very strange. This guy's a very trained hunter. Well, eventually they had seen what they thought was the cause was a bobcat, and they saw the bobcat, and they shot at the bobcat, and it didn't do anything. It didn't run. It didn't get up. It didn't go away. Eventually, after about an hour of it kind of sitting and laying around and them kind of looking at each other going, is it dead yet? It did get up and go off. They did go examine the area. There was a little bit of blood. But the deers didn't stop. The deers continued to circle that area and wasn't concerned at all with them being there. It was very strange. And, that was it. So he goes and they're like, this is weird. We're going to leave. Never seen anything like it. They go back to like the ranger station there at the hunting area. And they said, yeah, it's a weird spot. People report stuff like that all the time. It's really weird.
Oh, wow.
And, I don't know what to make of it. And I don't use this term lightly. I think he might have encountered some type of skinwalker.
Oh, that's better. I thought you were going to say a not deer.
A not deer.
She's turned.
They were
She's
definitely
turned.
deer. They were
Yeah,
just
it was
acting strangely. I think that it was the bobcat that was the issue.
Yeah, the weird one. Mm-hmm.
It was the problem.
Well, that is.
Or it was just a screen image and they were firing at nothing.
Could have been. Could have
There's
been.
that, That was good. Good, Brandon. Proud of you. You get points for
Ishbelly
that.
says sky jelly equals angel poop.
Oh, my
Tune in
God.
tomorrow's episode to find out what I think it might be.
Anyway,
You guys will never guess. I'll tell you that.
my train of thoughts completely derailed.
So you may got any spooky stories to share with us. It is, of course, Spooktacular season here.
Well, Spooky has a spooky
what do we
story
got?
to
Anybody got any
share.
good stories?
I mean, Spooky's got a really cool spooky story to share.
Lisa
so.
Beard, I'm gonna put you on the spot. You got a good one? You got any good spooky stories you want to share?
Just currently being traumatized by the Star Jelly.
No, right?
Yeah, that's what it is. Absolutely. Well, let's throw up Jimmy's story. then.
Julie Bugs, sky jelly equals alien craft emptying their potties. That was actually a theory that they could be a refuse deposit from UFOs. That was like one of their original theories.
Is that right?
My
Lisa said
Amazon-
flinching.
What is
Leslie
that,
said,
Ashley?
Sorry, I don't know that.
Is your AI talking to you?
Yes, it is. I don't know why.
It's beginning. It's happening. It's happening. Everyone,
It keeps talking to me. I don't know.
if everyone's AI starts,
Alexa, play Wild and Weird Radio.
if everyone's
Everybody's
No,
device.
she totally ignored you on purpose.
Oh yeah.
She's out of spite. Yeah, sometimes she thinks she hears her name, and you didn't say anything that sounded like it. I don't know. It was so
that's
weird. She wanted to talk to me. She was asking me if I wanted to chat. It was weird.
She's lonely.
I mean, maybe.
It could have been that one conversation that
Adam
saved
said my
humanity.
Alexa went off as well.
What?
That's weird. Something Joe
Need
said
to ask
set off
Ellie
all the
if our robot overlord did anything weird.
Interesting. Anyone else have any strange
The
AI
AI has come alive.
AI
It is
bot
aware of itself
issues?
now.
Well,
The AI wars have initiated.
I'm just saying. There is that report that's going on that
Yeah,
they have possibly become self-aware.
possibly become self-aware.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I think I'm going to play Jimmy's one of Jimmy's things for you guys, and let's pop over here and tell me if you can hear him. You should be able to hear him.
Hey, folks. Jimmy here from Spooky Appalachia. So, Sadly, I couldn't join my friends at Wild and Weird this month to come on and tell some spooky stories, because who else would be best to come on and tell some spooky stories for y'all? If you haven't heard of me, I run the YouTube channel Spooky Appalachia. I'm real good friends with Ron, Brandon, and of course Joe. So what I do is every week I run a story, usually from one of my listeners who sends in a personal account of theirs. And I read it off on the channel, or sometimes I'll interview them. And sometimes I go around Appalachia and film some of these spooky locations. Recently, I did College Hill in West Virginia and Virginia's Lyric Theater, Blacksburg, Virginia. Great videos. A lot of great stories and history. Definitely check me out if you've never heard of me. And here's some stories. I picked a couple of my favorites, and I will read some of these off for you guys here. The first one is about a phantom group member at St. Albans Sanitarium in Radford, Virginia. Not to be confused with St. Albans, West Virginia. This is a sanatorium in Radford, Virginia. People mix it up all the time. So this happened around the first time I started volunteering at St. Albans. It was Halloween night in 2014, and I was working the haunted house attraction. I was stationed on the second floor in a ghost costume, and when people would come, I would jump out and scream at them and try to scare them. That night, one of my daughters told me she was going to be bringing with her new boyfriend, who I had never met. And she said he had been talking a lot of smack, and he's one of those people that says stuff doesn't scare him, and she asked if I could scare him real good. They made it in to me about 30 minutes before close, and I knew it was one of them because I heard my daughter giggling. So I get myself ready. I'm hiding in the room, looking out through a hole, waiting. I see two young men, my daughter, and another girl start to go by. I stuck my head out the hole in the wall and went blah to scare them, and then chased them down the hall. I decided to focus on going after the two young men, knowing one of them was my daughter's boyfriend, so I didn't pay much attention to the other two girls. I must have done a good job because they both screeched like little girls. They ran down the hall where my partner directed them to the stairwell. As they were going down the stairwell, I walked down to my partner and pointed out who my daughter was. I said, "That is her, not the quiet one, but the one laughing like a fool." I turned around to go back down the hall, and my daughter came up and hugged me, then said, "You got them good, Mama." The girl was still behind her, so I waved and introduced myself. The girl, for some reason, looked like she was bored to death. She looked like the average middle school girl wearing a jacket and jeans, and kind of pouty looking. A few days later, I talked to my daughter and asked if they liked the event and had a good time. She explained they did. So then I asked about the girl she had with her. I asked if she had any fun and mentioned she looked really bored. My daughter then said, "What girl?" I said, "I guess it was one of the other guy's girlfriends." And then my daughter said, "Mom, there wasn't anyone else with us, just the three of them." My daughter and the two guys. I know I saw this girl. I know she was there. To this day, I still double check when I look at groups as they wander in. Wow, that's pretty crazy. I've had a few people send in stories that of things that happened at that haunted location, I guess you would call it. Definitely been some interesting ones, but this one probably takes the cake.
Yeah, I'm going to save those rest of those, you guys, so we can spread those out on some other ones.
So Lisa came in clutch here, guys. She says, "So okay, here you go. Last year during a ghost walk, we were leading our own in our own town. We stopped in front of a duplex that was supposed to have a poltergeist. I turned on the SLS in front of the house and saw a human shape in the upstairs window. It flashed window to window through the house and eventually ended up downstairs where it rushed at the window that we were standing in front of. We could see it come from the back of the house till it was pressed up against the window. Heading back there next weekend. Wish me luck on getting a good capture."
Wow.
That's an intense one. I mean, that's definitely a really good one. A good luck next week.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
So Ashley, when it comes to spooky season and all kinds of the scary stuff, what is one of your favorites in particular?
What one of my favorites?
And it doesn't even have to be like related to actual paranormal phenomena. Like, what's your favorite spooky stuff?
Like scary story? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, like what kind of scary stories you like?
I mean, spooky season is a lot. It could be my favorite horror movie, my favorite baked good,
Well, let's start a list. What's your favorite horror movie?
Oh God, don't ask me that. All of them. I like all of them. The worse they are, the better. Like if they're absolutely unwatchable, I love that. I get problems. I like really bad horror movies. Really, I mean, I'd say B movies, but these are like Z movies. So, so that's a tough one. I can't answer that. I haven't seen anything good yet. Usually in October, I'll try to catch up on all the movies I haven't seen throughout the year. But I actually this year I did a really good job keeping up on most of them. So I'm like, oh, okay. I watched Scary.
Have you ever seen Dell and Tucker versus Evil?
I have, yeah, I have.
That is such a fun horror movie. Like it's horror comedy for anybody. Like I'm not a big horror person, and so if I watched it, you can pretty well guess it's going to be in the vein of like Evil Dead, the original Evil Dead, not the remake.
Yeah. The original Evil Dead, where Bruce Campbell's unibrow is the star.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Especially in the second installment, where they basically just make fun of the first one.
Oh yeah. That's Evil Dead's one of my favorites, and you know which one? All of them. The first one, second one, and Army of Darkness.
Oh yeah,
good stuff.
Those are a collection you have to have. So Shane Lorson says The Thing is the favorite horror movie, and the John Carpenter version. Z movies are epic. I like Squirm or The Thing.
Yeah.
Rocky Horror. Young Dr. Frankenstein. That one.
God.
That's Frankenstein.
That is, yes. Frankenstein.
That was a good one.
Come here, Igor. The original Mummy. All those old Universal classics are great.
Oh, the Universal monsters.
Linda Sigmund in the chat there, by the way, for everybody.
Oh, hey, Linda.
Rocky Horror and Young Frankenstein, original Mummy. Ravenous.
Oh my God. Ravenous is about cannibalism, so.
Abby Normal.
There's a really good one on Shudder called The Dark and the Wicked. It's probably the best horror movie I've seen in several years.
Oh, really? I love Shudder. That's my favorite app.
Yeah, for whatever reason, I don't watch horror movies anymore.
I have a hard time with them too, man. Like it's not.
When I was a kid, sure, loved that stuff. It was fun. I'd still like the old ones. Don't get me wrong. I like like you said, the Universal monster stuff. I love that stuff. Yeah. That's cool. And it's not because I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is. There's just something about them the modern horror stuff that's just like, I think it's just too there. And the old stuff, you actually had to use your imagination a little bit. And
yeah, I mean, like,
don't anymore.
I can still get into like some of the horror action or horror comedy. I'm in on those. But if it's just like Scream number 50,000, I don't care.
Yeah.
I get where you go. As a horror movie fan, I wish that they would retire Scream.
Yeah, like, but Nightmare, I will watch Nightmare and laugh my tail end off
because that's what it is. That's what it's for. That you can't take it seriously. I don't know.
Yeah.
Which one? Like
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, I love Nightmare on Elm Street. That was my favorite series.
And it's because it's not like it's in the horror genre, but there's so many more elements to it that
they
make
put
it
humor in it.
Fits, you know.
And they put that weird little humor spots.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, the twisted humor, the comedy part.
It just works. You know.
So Lisa said Chucky traumatized me as an adult. Chucky traumatized me as a kid. So when Chucky first came out and ran on VHS, like we had a VHS player. I was really young. You know, my mom and dad were still together at this point, and it was being watched on the only TV in the house. And I came in and I saw it, and I didn't think anything of it. And like then all of a sudden, the murder, death, kill. You know, rawr, angry Chucky doll happens. And I had like a My Buddy Chucky looking doll, you know, and it was in my closet.
Did you rip its head off and burn it?
I was scared to death of that thing.
I was really scared of that kind of stuff. I wouldn't watch horror movies as a kid. It took a while. I was like a preteen when I started getting into it. But like prior to that, if the whole family was watching a horror movie, I was like in tears. I was scared to death of it. So I don't know. It's kind of weird. I feel like my love for horror is like a way for me to like take back my power. And like,
maybe.
You know. But I have a weird Mandela effect with Chucky. And I have a very distinct memory that Child Play was on TV. I don't know which one. I know it was a Chucky movie. And they rolled the credits, the movie's over, and at the end of it, when the credits are rolling, it was an image of Chucky's head, and it's on a stick, and it's just static there while the credits are rolling over it. That's never happened in any of the movies. But I know I remember this, like, perfectly, clear as day. I remember this happening.
Maybe that was like an advertising thing that the channel made for the movie. They could have, like, stuck it on there.
But just because I
did do that from time to time when they would run movies like Fox, the TV channel would do that. They would grab a still and run that over instead of a black screen. So that is possible.
But it's not from the movies. Is the difference is that scene never occurs in any.
Oh, so that never happened in the movies.
Never happens in the movie.
Right.
So where'd they get it from? That's what she's saying.
Sometimes the studios would make those little stills too.
If they had made their own like prop and like done it that way, yeah, they would have to have. But I've tried to find it. It's so weird how many like commercial spots and things I've watched from it had to have been the 90s. I know that. Yeah.
Something like that, you'd have to have somebody who was lucky enough to record that on VHS.
Yeah. And I don't know what year it was. I don't know what channel. I was young though. I was really young.
I think that the Mandela effect thing is very interesting. Just we had an episode on that, and it was really good. But
we need to have Jeff back for a round 2 on that.
It was a very good episode.
I mean, for a year and a half, it was the highest downloaded episode we had because it just kept climbing and climbing and climbing.
Oh, yeah, people love it.
Yeah, it was. And we went in there to basically explain away the phenomena, and we did for the most part of its origin and whatnot, where it came from, and most of it is just this. People can't remember anything, or they remember things sideways, out of chronological order or something. But there were one or two that were very strange, and we just couldn't put our fingers on trying to even come close to explaining those. And then when we looked at all the other weird stuff that was happening around that same time, and it's like, man, I don't know. I mean, it's weird. It's weird. There's something strange there, and I'm not willing to write it all off but a lot of it can be explained away. But again, when you can't explain all of it, you've still got something.
So,
oh yeah, I had it happen with me actually in John Keel. And I was a complete skeptic in the Mandela effect. I didn't believe in that. I'm just like, oh, it's people with bad memories. I get it.
Yeah.
Terrible. But I mean, I had spent a year and a half reading everything that you can imagine from John Keel, researching the entire life of Keel. And, I'd post about him sometimes on social media and, just let people know, hey, this is what I'm researching, this is what I'm reading, whatever. And every time I typed out John Keel, I'd have to go look up how to spell his last name every single time. For a year and a half, I was spelling it. And I Googled it every time, Keele. And then one day the E's gone. And I'm like, this is not it. So I went and grabbed one of the books. Sure enough, there's no E. But I know that I looked up how to type his name out every time I typed it out. And then it just wasn't there anymore.
So when did you come to our dimension?
It was probably in the beginning of 2021.
Yeah.
Yep, that's where I arrived.
Well, welcome. We're glad you're here.
It's terrible here.
In case you didn't get a official welcome, well, it gets better because every now and again we manage to manifest a different path, and we go down that one, and no one remembers.
It's okay. Here for a good time, not a long time, folks.
Yeah, exactly.
So we were talking about horror movies. If you guys want to watch really good horror movies that still have the scare factor at the core, just watch horror movies that come from Asia. Those will give you nightmares.
Oh yeah, those Asian horror movies. Holy crap!
Yeah. This will terrify you. What are you talking about?
There was one I watched from the 70s from the Philippines that was based off the cryptid they have over there about the woman whose head will separate from her body and her organs will stay attached and she'll fly through the air.
Yeah.
Whoever filmed that movie did an incredible job because it is disturbing watching that thing fly through the air.
Yeah,
that was back in the 70s. So
it's good stuff.
So
I love really good special effects.
Oh yeah, it's got practical effects. I'm a sucker for practical effects.
That's the problem with the new horror movies is that most of them aren't, and you don't have a lot of. That's why when Terrifier 2 came out, a lot of people hated it. A lot of people loved it, but a lot of people took issue with it. But it looks so good. The gore is extreme, but it looks so good because it's all practical, and we don't get that anymore. It was like a little love letter to horror fans. It was nice.
One thing I always hated about The Walking Dead was all the blood was CGI. They didn't use any blood at all in the show.
That's so stupid.
Yep,
it's so easy.
Yeah,
all CG.
And it's really obvious if you go back and watch the older ones now.
Like there was static blood that didn't go anywhere, and that was makeup effects. But like there was no when you mashed somebody's head or something like that, there was no splatters. It was just CG.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Well, they were proud of their new particle system, delivery system that they were using, and I'm pretty sure the actors were probably like, I don't want that on me. They probably were.
You got to remember too a volume of which you would call for a zombie television show.
Of blood. A lot. Yes.
It's spooky season's fun. Everybody's got their horror movies out, but one of my favorite things about spooky season happened. When did you get your 12-foot tall skeleton, Ron? Last year?
Last year.
So, Ashley, have you seen the 12-foot skeletons in person?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
For me, and this is, just because anybody who's curious, anybody who listens to a lot of Bigfoot reports from various other shows that hear stories of 10 and 12 foot and 14 foot tall creatures, go stand beside one of those 12-foot skeletons and just see how preposterous that is.
Yeah.
Because where would you hide in the woods if you were that big? Because the mass will equal the height. Otherwise you reach a point of, functional not workingness, which isn't a, real phrase, but I'm just winging it here.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah. And like, you have to have the proportions to make that body work. Now,
Mhm.
Unless it's not a physical
Oh.
body.
yeah, it would have to be a non-physical creature. You're right.
And it was from Nibiru.
Like these reports, I think they just are off base with measurements because
Yes.
They are.
like
Yes.
there's no way. There's no way. And I've always like even the ones that I saw in my personal sighting, like they were nowhere. They were huge. Don't get me wrong, they were absolutely huge, but they were at max 7 foot tall, huge. But still, I mean, you're dealing with an Andre the Giant sized thing.
It's about right. 7.5 feet. That's about what we saw out there at your farm.
Yep.
Who
It is.
Who did the? I can't remember his name. There was the guy who took the Mothman cutouts and placed
for
them around
Monster
the
Quest.
computer.
Yeah,
And-
Doug Hychik
right.
was the one that had that done.
Yeah, and then they had people measure how big it was, and they were all wrong. All of them were very wrong. We're terrible at measuring stuff. We're not good at it. That's why you have a little thingy on the gas station doors as you walk out.
You're right. You're 100% right. And it was like when we were talking about that Mothman-like thing that I had seen. Well, Joe's the one who was like, you do know that's over a 10-foot wingspan. I'm like, no, because I hadn't really considered that. And he's like, well, if you're in the middle of the road and it's touching both sides, that's about 10 foot. I'm like, oh crap, you're right.
Because it was a single car.
Yeah. But you don't
Single
think
car
about that kind of stuff, you know? And a lot of people get it wrong, just one way or the other. Either it's you know, bigger or it's smaller. But that's typically how it works. We just can't visualize. We can't measure things by, it was 5.5 foot wingspan, you know. Well, no, it was 10. You know?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it is nice to have things to kind of compare the size to. I've teased it in the comments, but I guess I'll tell you. I saw a thunder crow with my daughter, who was 9 at the time. I was driving in the car. It was just a crow. I was just driving down the street, taking her to a doctor's appointment, and there's a crow there. But it starts to come down to like land on the utility pole, and utility poles are shaped. They're like this, right? It's like a cross, like a T.
Mm-hmm.
And as it's trying to land on the pole, I notice the wingspan of this thing is twice the length of that pole. I'm sorry, twice the width rather. And it decides not to. It's like coming down on it. It's like, never mind. And then it takes off into the neighborhood. And so while this is happening, again, my daughter, she's 9. She's not interested in any of this stuff. Thinks I'm so uncool because I do what I do. And I'm like, what did you see? What was that? What did you see? She said, it was a crow. It was a really big crow. So I figured out, what the width of those poles were. And they're about 4 to 6 feet, depending on the type of pole. But you're still talking, let's double that. You're talking a crow with an 8 to 12 foot wingspan, which isn't 30 feet, right? Like some people say, but a crow with a 12-foot wingspan we don't have those.
Right.
So it was nice to have that. And who knows, it didn't quite land on it. So I still can't say for sure, what it added up to, but it was definitely big. It was bigger and it wasn't closer to me. It was further away. It's definitely bigger than the width of that pole. It's really interesting.
Now, could it have been like a black vulture?
I don't know why I didn't chase it. I don't know. I regret it to this day.
It was obviously a crow though?
No, it was completely all black. No, completely all black.
Black vultures,
the
there's a
thing.
species of vulture.
Didn't have a white head, didn't have the ring around it. And they're completely black. Do they have like their head doesn't have feather?
That's interesting.
That is weird.
You should send that one off to
Weird.
Stan
It
Gordon.
was neat.
For real. That's a weird one.
Yeah, Stan has a
I
catalog.
found somebody
for
who
all of
is.
those.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he has a
I found
catalog
somebody
for all those
who's writing a
Thunderbird
book.
and like out of like big or larger than normal flying creatures. He catalogs all that stuff. So send it over to Stan Gordon.
That's a good idea. I will do that. Yeah, because I was like, I don't know. We don't, and yeah, she'll tell it. I wanted her to come on and tell it, but she's nervous, so she doesn't.
Jimmy,
she was shy about it.
Jimmy just got the bad news about his dog. So
Man.
Apparently he has a liver infection. So y'all send out some good thoughts for Jim's dog, some prayers, thoughts, vibrations, whatever you got for him. And he said,
sorry to hear that, man.
Not looking good. That's what he said. So yeah, it's not good. let's see if we can, manifest some good stuff for Jimbo. But yeah, that's wild though. That's really wild.
It was
That's
interesting. I tried to talk to neighbors and see if anybody,
No.
other people had to have seen it. But the thing
Yeah.
is that when it was so high up, you couldn't tell how big it was. It just looked like a crow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing about, birds and UFOs. Anything that's out there, we can't tell. We can't tell unless it's like literally right over top of us.
Yeah. Unless you got something to compare it to. It's
Unless you can compare it to. That's
you're
why
just guessing. And we're bad at it.
Yeah, it's true. That's why I beg people when they take these pictures of these lights in the sky, or these craft or whatever they are, for goodness sake, just get something in there, the horizon. You don't zoom in. You're just going to pixelate it and make it terrible where no one can even figure out what you're looking at, first of all. But give us something to compare it with, and just maybe there's a snowball's chance we can figure out what it is or maybe what it isn't. So,
yeah.
But yeah.
So Scott's got an entertaining one here.
Yeah.
Said he really liked the movie Mama. Problem was they had people coming to tour the house when we were selling, and my youngest daughter ran through the house on all fours and jumped up on the counters in the refrigerator.
What?
That is great.
And how did that go? I'm just curious.
I bet they didn't buy the house.
And let me tell you a story about what my cousin did to me that scared me so bad I almost peed my pants when I was a little kid. So my older cousin Jeremy was obsessed with slasher flicks.
Okay.
And I was like 4 years old, so this was like 94.
Yeah.
And we were at his mom's house, and all of a sudden, all the lights shut off in the house. And everybody's like, what's going on? This is weird. There's no storm or anything outside. Next thing I know, I see someone walk out of his bedroom wearing a Jason mask and fires up a chainsaw and comes down the hallway. And I was screaming. I can still remember how loud I was screaming. I was screaming bloody murder. And it's possible that I might have wet my pants. Little kid. Like he went hardcore
little
to scare
Brandon.
everybody. He apparently
Brandon,
the fuse box was in their hallway, and he killed the power to the whole house just to do that.
I think that you've had one of the most interesting amounts of childhood trauma that I have ever heard, ever.
In the most sincere way possible, he means.
My mom's uncles used to chase me with lawnmowers and weed eaters to scare me too when I was little.
See, the only weird thing that my family did was turn their eyelids inside out and chase me around like that.
Oh God,
that's so.
No, I had a family like Brandon's. We had Eleanor, and Eleanor was a witch that lived in like the tree line right outside of her house. And if you weren't good, Eleanor would come and take you, and she would take you back to the woods and your fingers. And Eleanor ended up being like, this was something that like us kids grew up with. And then some of us started having kids, not me. I was still pretty young myself. I was like a teenager when this started happening. So one of the older of my cousins decided to do a full on Eleanor costume. And I mean, it had like this witch mask and wrapped his sheet around himself, and he would go terrorize the kids. Yeah. And he would just kind of show up and just to terrorize them. So he decides to do the Eleanor costume for Halloween one year. And I was with my older cousin. She had 2 kids of her own. And I went, we went trick-or-treating, and like her 2 girls, they were fine. They weren't scared of anything the whole night. And all of a sudden they start losing their minds. Up the road, here comes Eleanor. And they knew who Eleanor was. Horrible. And, at the time, it didn't seem like it was terrible. But now that I'm an adult with my own kids, man, that's really effed up. I almost cussed. I didn't, but I was like, oh, that's terrible. So I had a Brandon family too. There's way more stories. Oh yeah, there's
amazing.
Way more, but yeah, it was terrible.
Well, Brandon lived in a haunted room.
Yeah.
They threw him into a haunted room, Ashley.
Just the room was haunted?
Yes.
Wow. They had it
because
out for
someone died there apparently in the past. I mean, he is a horror story. It's no doubt, that anyone can figure out why he ended up being a horror writer, because it's what
because
you do.
you embrace it to counteract. You take control over it and make it your own. That's what you do with trauma.
It's true.
That's how
Yeah, I
you
can
grow.
share a scary story that actually did happen to me.
I guarantee you can.
Yeah.
Oh, did you say didn't happen to you?
Did actually happen. Yeah.
Oh, see, no,
It's
I'm
not
sure you can.
like my cousin chasing me down the hallway either.
Okay.
I told you guys about how my sister has like medium type abilities where she can see spirits and stuff like that.
Hmm?
And I still remember this. I saw it too. We grew up in a trailer that had, she said it had all kinds of weird spirits that live in that trailer from the people that were there before. She thinks somebody might have been murdered there, but one day we were playing in the hallway and all of a sudden she started screaming and I was like, what? And she started pointing down the hallway to where the kitchen was. And there was like a gap in between the wall of the kitchen where you could see in the kitchen. And beyond that gap was the countertop. And she said she saw a black figure with red eyes reach up in the cabinet. And for some reason, it took out a jar of peanut butter and unscrewed the lid like it was going to eat it. And it was just staring at her while it was holding the jar of peanut butter. And it scared her so bad that she bolted off into the bedroom. And she kept asking me if I saw that. If I saw that, I was like, no, I didn't see that. And she swore that she saw a black figure with red eyes doing that in the kitchen.
How interesting. That's interesting.
Why peanut butter?
I don't know.
That's like one of those Oz effects, bud.
So Lisa said that her husband just called. He's at a hunting camp up by Legionnaire, PA, and swears he heard Bigfoot crashing around up in the Laurels Mountain area. And said knocked over some huge trees and set off all the animals in the area.
Yeah, Ligonier's got a lot of vast empty wilderness around that place.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Mm-hmm.
Then everything went totally quiet. Teleported out. Possibly, or it could have just stationed out and just, well, I done what I needed to do and now I'm chilling out. Theresa Racer, woo, didn't completely miss the show. Had an interview to record. Well, glad you're here, Theresa. Thanks for joining us. Hopefully the interview went well.
Well, everybody, apparently is having some creepy creature kind of stories out there tonight. Brandon, it's probably just part of your other history that you're just starting to discover. That's like a screen memory or something. I don't know. That's weird.
Well, you guys know tomorrow's St. Patty's Day, right?
Oh, geez.
Anniversary of the Patterson Gimlin film.
Yep.
St. Patty's Day.
Yep. Bob's birthday was yesterday,
Bob's
right?
birthday was yesterday, same day as my anniversary.
Yep.
And
that's my dad's birthday too.
Oh, really?
Weird.
Happy
it is
birthday.
Weird. Well, he's dead, but
happy
he might hear you.
It's all good. It doesn't matter.
It was still his birthday. Yeah, that's super weird. I thought that was strange, but yeah, that's Patty's Day. How exciting!
Yep. So it's the anniversary of the Patterson Gimlin film. Everybody knows that was 1967. So that makes it how many years now?
Oh, Ashley, I think I found your Mandela effect memory. I think I found it.
Did you? Let me go check it.
Yeah, look on Facebook. Apparently, there was an alternate TV ending to Child's Play 2. Apparently, the original ending was too violent for TV, so they filmed an alternate version.
Oh, sorry, it's playing. Turn it off.
It was too violent. Is that what you just said?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, a lot of movies would do that.
The whole movie's violent.
Yeah,
it's
right.
10 minutes. Let me go through it a little
near the end.
It could be. Good. Is it at the end? Let's see here.
Yeah, it's at like the 6-minute 50-second mark.
Once I'm done with the ads.
Will Brandon be able to solve Ashley's alternate dimensional memory?
This might be it. That might be it. It's the closest thing I've ever seen.
Uh-oh.
And it's not even or anything at all. That's crazy. I'm pretty sure that is it.
Check it out.
Yep,
We
and then
might
the
have an
credits
answer.
roll. Yep, that's definitely it. That's definitely
Stern
it.
didn't do this one.
Sure. Wow. Stand down, you guys. We solved it.
Solved the mystery right here
Way
live,
to go,
you guys.
Brandon.
Good night, Lisa.
Super
You
nice.
have a good night. Hopefully your husband has a interesting night the rest of the night.
Give us the rest of the story when you hear it.
Yep. Angie took off. Good night.
Yeah, Angie's
Movie you'll probably never see on cable TV is Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah, probably.
I don't know. They played the newer one a lot on Sci-Fi. They still do it.
Yeah, they
I'm
did.
sure they probably
They
cut a
used
lot
to.
out of it.
They used to.
TV now. Have you guys watched TV and like the past?
I okay, so I have not had actual cable television since the month that Hulu came out. Okay.
That's why.
So this is 2000, I think, and 9. Is 2008 or 9 when that happened, and
Yeah.
I got rid of cable. I just kept my internet, and I have watched TV a handful of times since then. Like actually, at somebody's house watched it, and wow, just
It's
what
strange.
airs on normal cable.
Don't like cuss
Like-
right in the commercials. They don't care. There's
Oh,
no
they
like,
don't care no more.
hardly any censorship. I remember it was not too long ago, like The Walking Dead. They're like they can use the F word one time per season, and then like the next season they're like dropping in every other word.
Don't you remember the episode of South Park?
Yeah.
That's because that was cool.
Hey, a ghost blessing.
Thank you, Lisa.
Nice surprise.
Remember, hey, shoot us your physical address over at wildandweirdwb.com.
Lisa.
Ron's
She
got
got a
something
little-
he's going to send out.
She got little hearts there. That's cool. Yeah, get us your address. I gotta get all these
Funny how
out. I made a
America
bunch of
still
new
has-
ones. Look,
Funny how
Give them
America
that.
still has so many Puritan values.
You got to make it
Made
threatening.
made like a whole stack of these things to get out to you guys. So and they're all different now. So you're welcome. I hope you get the right one that you want.
So Lana Cat said, I've never had a sighting, but the most credible and honest person I've ever known had a road crossing experience just outside Slainsville, Ohio.
Oh,
Right, Ashley? Saline? You're no-
Salinville.
I don't know. Never heard of this.
she
don't-
would not call it a Bigfoot. In her religious vernacular, it had to be a demon, of course.
Of course it did.
But how many times had you heard of a demon that looked like a 7-foot tall, hair-covered man running across the road in a wooded area? She actually wrecked avoiding it. Holy cow.
oh God.
Explain that one to your insurance company.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, odds are that is a Bigfoot report. If you actually could get me the date or rough like year or whatever, and you could send that over to the wildandweirdwb@gmail.com, I'd add that to the map.
I'm gonna look up
see that, 'cause I'm
where
gonna-
it is and see.
It's a demon.
Oh yeah, guys, this is the area. It's the Bigfoot area.
Oh, I mean, it's forested too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's like right out of. So there's like this spot. Everybody knows about Salt Fork, right? And that makes sense. But then Salt
yeah.
Fork leads into Cuyahoga Nature
Yeah.
Reserve. It's forest, all of it, and that whole side is nothing but Bigfoot sightings. And this is
Yeah,
like
that's
right
that's
in the middle.
it's up in the Bush Creek Wilderness area,
Mhm.
right
Wow.
outside Mechanicstown. It's slap between the Bush Creek Wilderness area and the Highland Town Wildlife Management area.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably not a demon.
Probably not a demon.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, probably.
Pretty likely it's
definitely
big.
Very small town southwest of Minerva. It's late summer of 2011.
Yeah, I just thought about it. Maybe what my sister saw wasn't demonic. Maybe it was a Mothman type creature.
not. You never know, man. That's the whole
Yeah.
thing. You don't know what it was.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't even know what some of these things are. We don't know if they're physical. We don't know if they're just projections in our heads. We don't know where they're coming from. And to
Yeah.
to presume that they're demonic or aliens or anything else. It's presumptions based on.
I don't consider it something demonical unless it's got some like intention to physically harm you.
If it comes up to me and it says, "Hey, I'm a demon," I'll believe it's a demon.
I wouldn't believe it. Why? Hey, why would you believe it?
Very telltale signs of what demonic activity is and what it is not.
You got to prove it.
Bigfoot activity is definitely not one of those things. But
yeah,
right.
I mean, I haven't seen one that is not yet. So
there's a lot of people who lean that direction and they say that, but I can't get. I'm a former minister and I can't find any support for it. So
yeah. What about demon possessed Bigfoot?
Now we can't deny that.
I mean,
what was that?
Demon possessed Bigfoot.
Why not?
It broke up. I couldn't hear it. I'm sorry.
A demon possessed Bigfoot.
Oh yeah, demon possessed Bigfoot. I mean, I guess it's possible. It's plausible.
More plausible than some of the
Bigfoot being a demon.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so. I think that's.
Lana Cat says, "I think it's the only used demon because she wasn't familiar with Bigfoot." Yeah, and it's possible, but it's a lot of folks, they think it is, especially if you listen to some of the bigger podcasts out there. You hear that a lot.
Oh yeah,
it was pure evil. Blah, 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 blah.
Evil.
I mean, you can't. For something to be evil, there has to be
intent.
I guess you'd call it a real intent.
Yeah.
Like rather than just behavior.
Yeah.
I've met dogs that are a-holes. It doesn't mean they're evil. It doesn't mean that they're demonic.
Well,
you might want to punt it down the road, but I don't think I'm going to kick a demon out the other side.
You haven't met my dogs yet. I don't.
I think that
he might be Satan. He might actually be Satan.
Pretty sure that King of Jew.
Yeah, Atlanta Cat. There's a very good chance that
it was.
That was a sighting, a Bigfoot sighting, especially in that area, man. I looked up that area on maps, and it's right in the middle of wildlife management and forest area. So, yeah, I'm leaning into that one myself.
Yeah, that is right in the middle of it. I remember one time I'd cataloged the sightings in the area for that year for Bigfoot, and there were over 250 sightings reported. That's reported sightings. And so how many go unreported? A lot. We have an experiment we want to do in that area. I can't share it yet, but I do. It involves cameras. And I think that, if you're going to experiment with trying to catch evidence, that is a really great place to do so. It's definitely, there's something going on out there for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So Seth just said, I've heard reports of Bigfoot that had no eye shine. Have you heard of this? Yeah. A lot. I think the majority of the Sasquatch encounters that have eye shine, involve a direct light being shined into the eyes. If there's no direct light, you're not going to see that.
Agreed.
Because it is possible that they have the tepid lucidum in their eye. But I would say, based off our experiences and what I've seen, if it is in the more human category, the tepid lucidum, which is the same thing that causes our eyes to look red on a camera, it's just not as intense as what most animals have. We have it. I've actually heard a lot of people say that humans don't have it. We do have it. It just doesn't work as well. We don't have to have this fully adapted night vision to walk around and hunt.
You mean the great worldwide demon possession of the 1980s and 90s, wasn't it?
Yes, the great worldwide demon possession of the 80s and 90s. Yes. Yes, that's exactly it.
No, you're talking about the satanic panic.
No, you don't know about the demon possession? You must be one of them.
Yeah, probably. I've been accused of that before, so it's
Adam
okay.
Good said, my scary story. I have been blamed for the deaths of Jacques Cousteau, Harry Carey, and Michael Jackson.
Wow.
Well, why not? I mean,
I believe that
Alana
about you,
Cat
Adam. I
says
believe that you
there's a book of tales from Yellow Creek. Turns out the earliest settlers in the area sent out search parties at times because they heard what sounded like crying from the woods. And that could be a mountain lion. The eastern cougar did inhabit that area.
could
And it
also
does
be
sound like
something
a
else.
cry.
You don't know.
But we also heard cries coming from the bedroom, or what we thought was the bedroom. It wasn't the bedroom and wasn't even my kid. Like Ron had to say.
Foxes also make some weird noises too.
So
Foxes
you
do
throw it
make
out.
some weird noises. Yeah.
It's all part of the data.
Nope. You just never know what it was. No idea. We know they make some weird sounds out there.
Yeah.
Have you heard
They
the
make-
sound of two bobcats fighting?
Oh
Oh,
man.
that's a god
You
awful.
ever see somebody tuck tail and get out of the woods quicker than that? So I was leading a hike. This is the only failed hike that I'd ever led, okay? Where the people that were with me, like, it was just anyway, it was a guided hike. And it's the only one in my career that I've had that was what I consider a failure. We were out in Beach Glen in Canoa State Forest.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the part of the forest that borders up against Boone County, West Virginia. And all of a sudden we heard two bobcats tearing it up. The three folks that were on this guided hike, the old like Looney Tunes where there's like the dust cloud that
Oh yeah.
that was them.
Yeah.
They immediately ran back the way we had been coming and followed the trail all the way back. I never saw them again. Like
Never again.
Run.
Wow.
So I walked, but like they were gone. I never seen them. They never turned back up at the nature center. Dust in the wind, literally. I saw,
Wow.
the bottoms of their shoes and flinging elbows, and that was it.
Yeah.
What do you
that's
think they tell people about? I mean, do you think they tell people about that experience?
Oh, I mean, if they weren't so embarrassed, I would imagine they do, and it's a wonder what they say. They probably think that I died. They probably think our guide never came out of the forest.
Oh, I'm sure they jazz it up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, yeah, man.
Our
Yeah,
guide
that
got
one
attacked by bobcats. We had to fight them off ourselves.
Yeah.
And then we all got
If
away.
you really
and
want to
then-
know, there's some videos on YouTube that have pretty good sound quality if you want to find out what that sounds like, because it is
Absolutely.
impossible to describe what it sounds like
Yeah,
unless you
something
hear it
else.
yourself.
It is something else.
Yeah.
I live in a suburb and we have bobcats just hanging out.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And foxes and coyote. And I mean, in the last, I'd say 15 years, this place has really been very built up. And so we're just destroying their homes. So they just live in our
Gotta go
neighborhoods.
somewhere.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean,
Plant shrubberies out in front of your house, and
Yeah.
they're gonna come visit.
yeah.
And then all the Karens are like, why are there coyotes in my yard? It's so unsafe out here. And it's like, I mean,
I watched a coyote walk down our street one night, but I mean, you see all kinds of wildlife around here. There's deer. There's a couple of deer that stand out there in the back
Oh, yeah.
and stare at us through the window.
When I was coming to pick you up for the powwow, I had to stop in the middle of the road and wait for them to
Yep.
move.
Yep, there's 3 of them, and every now and again you'll get up and they'll be back here, casting shadows in the other room at night because there's a light out there on the hill. It shines down. That's exciting. You open this blind and there's 3 deer standing there staring at you. It's like, then you think, are those really deer?
I'm in a city. Like,
Yeah, me too. That's the weird
Wow,
part.
it's
It's like, is that really?
So Tommy asked earlier, this was over on our group page, that, hey guys, can I get your opinions on the photos I posted so I can put it to rest? I'm 100% sure that there's something there. You guys' opinions.
I don't know what I feel about those. I'll be honest with you. There's some weird stuff about the eyes. There's the shine, and it doesn't look right to me. That's
The
all I
biggest
can
thing
say
for
about
me, the biggest red flag for me,
it. The one with the
is the
behind-
one where it's like supposed to be outside, but the
Yeah.
curtain is on top of its face, and like you can still see the face through the on the curtain. And this is not a transparent curtain. This is somebody's. To me, that one is somebody's failed Photoshop job. and they thought they made it transparent enough, and they
Yeah, I could totally see that. Those eye shines are what got me because they're all identical, and they would not be.
Yeah.
The eyes don't look like that. That doesn't match. That's not what eye shine looks like. So I don't know. And I'm talking about the highlights. Yeah, the highlights in the eyes.
yeah. It just
Wait, she said she what? She highlighted the
made it.
eyes. Why would she highlight the eyes?
Tommy said, yeah, she highlighted the eyes. What?
Why would you do that?
That's just basically drawing them on the photo. That fakes it yourself.
I wouldn't
That,
have did
to
that.
me, hurts any credibility that you got.
Ugh.
Just again, that's just our opinion.
But I'm not saying that this is not someone who has experienced anything.
Yes.
Hasn't experienced anything, Tommy. There's so many people who have experienced stuff. We have several. And what's really wonderful is you get to see these people have these experiences. They go through so many ups and downs with it. And they eventually, at the end, they kind of come out of it, right themselves and figure out what's going on. But right in the beginning of it, the first few years, it's turmoil and trying to make people believe you and all this. I don't care if anyone believes me. I quit doing that years ago. When I started talking about it openly, I'm like, you know what? I don't care. I really do not care who believes me or if they think I'm nuts.
And it's a very real possibility that she has had an encounter.
I think she has.
But some of the photos were questionable at best.
I feel like photos
it's not something
can
that
really
would stand
hurt
up
your
anywhere.
credibility sometimes. I feel like
You're
they
right,
don't always
Ashley.
help.
You're right. Even if they're, legitimate, they can still. So you've got to be very careful with those.
Yeah.
And that's why we get everything peer reviewed and whatnot.
And it would be something we would be interested in working with her and talking to her further and seeing the original photos, the actual original photos.
Anything from that. Yeah.
So the compressed files that get put up on Facebook, we can't do anything with. So Lana Cat said, question for you all. Native Americans in most of the U.S. have tales of hairy men, Sasquatch, etc.
Yes.
Do you know of any native lore specific to the upper OV?
West Virginia, Ohio, Pennsylvania, tri-state
Ohio
area.
Valley, maybe.
Ohio
West
Valley.
Virginia, Ohio, PA, tri-state area. Yes, we do. In fact, there were. We were actually just at a powwow presenting our Bigfoot research this past weekend, and some of the stuff we were sharing was we were sharing some of the native stories with the folks, and one of the Lenape tales involved a entity that they called the Meesing, and the Meesing was the hunter spirit. He was, and this wasn't just the Lenape people that held the belief with this creature, but it was a lot of the southern Algonquins. And the Meesing was the guardian of the forest, the protector of the forest. And if you look at the masks, the wooden masks that are made, and compare it to some of the masks of something like the Zuniqua or some of the other Pacific Northwest masks, you will see some striking similarities with particularly the rounded lips, that kind of look.
Yeah.
You will see the big eyes, the wrinkles on the forehead and around the eyes, you a bigger mask or a bigger mouth. Sometimes where the mouth is like, if the mouth isn't in that kind of posture, it's flattened out, but the lips are very wide. And you're seeing this being is projected as looking at like it's the protector and guardian of the forest. It was a large hairy being, a large hairy man. And if you went into the forest and you disrespected the forest, if you did not hunt properly, if you were being unethical with your harvesting, then basically this thing would come and you'd have your encounter.
And it wouldn't be pleasant.
Right. So hopefully that answers the question. Then there's also plenty of other hairy man stories from the 17 and 1800s that took place in this region.
Or giants also could be.
Yes, giants.
Very similar.
Yes,
depending on.
And it's a theory that the beings that were in these mounds, that these giants could have also been the other tribe. It could have been the Bigfoot.
Yeah, we don't know. I mean, that's, who's to say? We don't know what that was.
I didn't see it.
Exactly. Exactly. We have stories. I mean, that's pretty much it. But I tend to believe the native stories rather than I do our stories, the stories that we get fed, because there's more to that. Oh, you're welcome, Tommy. It's an observation. That's all. I mean, it doesn't mean we're right, and it doesn't mean we know everything. It's just that you see enough of this, and you're like, wait a minute, there's something here that stands out. That's pretty much it. Like little red flags.
One thing that's important to remember about the natives is they spent way more time in the woods than we do.
Oh
They knew their surroundings a lot better than we do.
That's it, man. That was the time, That's what people don't get. Like, you can't understand that today, because even you go out in the field, you're out there, whatever, a couple hours, whatever. You still go home. Turn the lights on, watch a little TV, whatever. That was home. The woods were home. You would retire to, an overhang, or you would retire to a great house where there would be other families. That would be it. There would be no TV. There would be
back then. They used to the tribes in Ohio would leave and come into West Virginia and be gone for weeks on hunting parties to kill buffalo and whatnot.
The hunting ground. Yeah. Yeah, and you had to come with great respect through this area because of those ghosties.
Lana Cat says it's a shame there were burial grounds in the area that were looted in the strip mining days, and all the artifacts were sold off. Yeah, there were some, but what's even worse, prior to the strip mines, just the development and the progression of society leveling hundreds of burial mounds and earthworks, just in the Ohio Valley, being from east of Charleston to central Ohio. There were hundreds and hundreds that were destroyed.
We look at places like South America, and we see the ruins there, and we say, wow, how did it get like that? Like that's something. Yeah. We had that. We destroyed it all. We leveled it
in favor of concrete.
Yep, we did. It's a fact. And the old maps prove that. The one Brandon had showed me one today, that was just unbelievable. The amount of mounds and earthworks that were on that. Some were just incredible, huge. Wasn't that one like 500 feet or something, Brandon? That we figured, 500 feet. And and there was one here as well that was close to where I live, and they said it was massive. It was almost on the grounds of, it looked like something out of South America. It was the stepped type pyramid type structure, leveled, gone. There's an interstate there now. I mean, and that's what we did. So,
but we needed to get from one place to the other faster.
Well, yeah.
Destruction in the name of progress.
It's true. Yeah, it's exactly what it was. So I don't know. I mean, you look around and you're like, well, who had the best answer here? That's the kind of thing. Was the oneness with nature. I think that's good. I think that there can be a balance. I'm one of those people. Or the people who have the technology. See, I think that there can be a balance. Now, I believe that you can find a balance between technology and ecology. I don't know that people want to find that balance.
No.
But I know it can be.
People don't like bugs.
No.
It makes me wonder.
It says, I hate concrete. Nothing will cripple you faster, and we put it everywhere.
It gets pretty.
It makes me wonder what North America would be like if the natives had managed to keep white people out. How different it would be nowadays.
Well, you wouldn't be here.
Well, yeah.
That's true.
So there's that.
It wouldn't be so bad.
We wouldn't be sitting here. So there's that.
Yeah.
In an alternate universe, this thing has happened. So,
half my family would be here. My dad's side of the family would be here, but my mom's family wouldn't have came here during World War II because they were already Scandinavian and native crossed up at that point.
There's so many.
Yeah, that's when my family got here. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'd half been here. Yeah, World War II. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, these things, we are a product of the past, you see.
Yeah.
And that's what people don't get. There's so many people who are like, you can't do this, you can't do that, you're disrespecting this, you're disrespecting that. No, I'm not. The ancestors on both sides did that. It's us who have to either figure out a way to let that go and move on, or
path or stay put.
Yeah, it's going to be this endless circle. And you know how I feel about those endless circles. They're pointless. So, I had a very good time at the powwow. I learned a lot. I got a good recharge, so to speak, and it really validated a lot of things for me. And I do believe that there is a balance, that you can have that balance.
Hey, Ron.
So, yeah.
Can you share that map I sent you of Moundsville so Scott can see that? Because I guarantee his apartment was near a bunch of mounds.
Okay, hang on a sec. I'll pull that right up.
It's mind blowing. Like,
it really is.
Being that close to the penitentiary, like the penitentiary was leveled, the mounds were leveled at the penitentiary, and
there's a reason why it's called Moundsville, not Moundville.
Right.
Oh,
a lot.
It's plural. There were several.
Yeah, you're 100% right.
At least 2, at minimum.
Let me pull this one up.
Weird that we call it a toothbrush, not teeth brush.
I went down to an area where the BFRO had reported a Bigfoot sighting, so we decided to. What did we do? We hopped in the car, we went down there, and it's right outside of Fort Ancient, which is basically the museum there that tells you all about the earthworks, the mounds, and things. And I'd never been there before. I didn't know that like the little museum existed, and I love a gimmick. So of course we went in and learned a little bit. But at the end of it, we were talking to the ladies there, and I was telling them what I was there for. I was like, hey, there's a Bigfoot sighted in the area, so we're gonna go check it out. And she's like, she points to the other lady sitting there, and she's like, oh, she saw it. I said, she saw Bigfoot. Yeah, she saw Bigfoot. And so she gave me, right then and there, gave me her encounter where she was just driving down the road. Of course, it crossed the street. High activity area for all kinds of weird stuff, not just Bigfoot. I don't think Bigfoot's necessarily weird. It just happens to be in that area. But very neat. Very worth it to go spend the time in, just to kind of soak up the culture and the stories and the stuff that you're not going to get sitting at home Googling it. It's worth checking out.
It's definitely worth going out and looking at also historical places too, because you can learn a lot just by looking at them physically. Like right at the base of where one of the old Native American lookouts is in Moundsville, there's an old pioneer cemetery, but it didn't originally used to be there. It used to be a little further north, but they dug up all the bodies and moved them to that new cemetery. And it's terrible to me that they would do this for European burials, but Native burials, they'll bulldoze them.
Yeah.
Blow them up, turn them into fertilizer instead of, give them proper treatment like they would Europeans.
Pretty much.
Oh, yeah.
What's Tommy got?
Tommy asked if anybody read the book, The Big Book of West Virginia Ghost Stories. I've read parts of it, and I used to use it for campfire stories. We sold it in the state parks. It's a decent book. You'll enjoy it. And then Lana Cat says, I saw a video on YouTube that talked about all the strangeness in the Appalachians. There's so much weird and unknown history here, a lot of stored memories and energy here. Yeah.
There's a good website you can go on. It's called wvghost.com. That's the OG paranormal website for West Virginia. Yep, there's that map. That's just Pennsylvania. Like, look at that. They're all over PA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There was a considerable amount of large skeletons found in PA, too.
There were.
There was one area where I think it was 200 and some found.
Yeah, that's modern day Dunbar.
Yeah.
We figured out.
Yeah.
Hey, look at that large structure.
Right up there in the top.
Yeah, it's got like a wall or a serpent mound coming out of the bottom of it.
Yeah, that's a leveled off causeway up there on top of that thing.
Yeah,
it's on top. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's 500 feet high. So That's pretty significant. And then if you look over here below it, there's another one. It's the same height, 500 feet. Don't you see that? That's the same. So these things,
It's like it's right there where Roxalana is now.
Yeah.
that's just crazy. So all those little dots you see down there, those are regular mounds, you know. And then you have these big earthworks, which is what that seems to be. It seems to be a massive earthwork.
And it's gone. I mean, that is every bit as big as what Serpent Mound is.
Yeah, it's got bigger.
And it's
gone. I'm going to go bigger on that.
Yeah, I'd say bigger, but like you got to remember, Serpent Mound's serpentine, and that's more straight. It could be the same length, but now the height, it's bigger.
Yeah, way bigger.
Mass, it's bigger, but you know, it's gone.
But yeah, it's gone. I mean, for all we know, that little flat area right there, that's a causeway, you know. Look at that. That's awesome. But yeah, it's just crazy. There's a few more. But yeah, they're literally, you know, they're gone now. So but yeah. So we veered way off topic tonight. But
we did.
More so than
what's the
normal.
significant native site in West Virginia? There's several.
Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot that aren't even here anymore.
They've just the ones that are still standing would probably be.
There's only 3.
Well, there's 4.
I mean, literally, there's only 3 that most people know about.
Yeah, the ones
That's
people
it.
know about would be the
Creole,
mound
Shawnee,
in
and
Moundsville.
Mound. Yeah.
Then the Shawnee Mound and the Creole Mound here in Charleston. And then there's another mound in Charleston, but it's on a cemetery, and it's never been excavated. It's untapped.
Yeah, you know why?
There's
European burials on it.
Probably.
Yeah, there are. There's
oh, well, that's what it is.
There's Christian burials at the top of the mound.
Of course there is.
And then you've got the earthworks that were down there across from Alloy, West Virginia.
Yep.
There were Charleston as a whole was like a mecca, to so to speak, just because there were in one like just spot in Charleston, West Virginia, there was 87 mounds just in one area. And now it's a civic arena, a park, a bridge, and a bunch of, commercial real estate.
Yeah, pretty much. There's a barrier.
Something interesting I found out is that bread factory where Ron had he used to do his investigations and stuff at. There was a mound right there.
Yep.
Bread factory.
David located that one a while back and told there was also a Civil War fight that went on there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Scott said, I wonder how many skeletons the Smithsonian has in its possession or destroyed. Countless.
Too many to count. How many have they lost?
What killed me about the mounds too, the ones that they destroyed, they didn't even bother investigating them or anything. They just blew them up and got rid of them.
Mm-hmm. Well,
we don't even know what might have been in them. We don't know what their purpose
imagine
was.
What's gone. Stuff we will never know.
That's the whole point, man. And that's also, some of our saving grace, because a couple of those old timers grabbed that stuff, shoved it in their pockets.
Yep.
And they put it in a basement or an attic somewhere, and someone's going to dig that up at some point. And they still come to every now and again. They'll come up. These pieces come up, and that's the only savings grace that there is to this. That some of those people who went in there and they pillaged those mounds, and they did. They didn't care. They were like, yeah, we're going to tear it down. Take what you want.
Yeah, it was being desecrated anyway, so just take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we don't. That's why we know next to nothing about the Adena people.
Yep.
Like those mounds are so old that when the tribes that we know of now moved in, they didn't even know who built them.
They were there when they got
no
there.
idea who it was.
The prevailing story is they were here when they got here.
They were already here.
Yeah.
So they don't know. It's an older, apparently more technical race.
Adam says people probably ate them like they did the Egyptian mummies.
It wouldn't surprise me, man.
Yeah, Joe's ancestors probably did.
Right.
Lana Cat, does West Virginia have a UFO hotspot? We hear so much about Mothman, but I'm interested in the other weird stuff too. West Virginia is a UFO hotspot. We
Pretty much.
were the original UFO hotspot in the country, and I don't think that has changed much.
No, it has not.
It's just nobody comes here and reports on West Virginia. But we've got tons of reports. There are tons of historic documented reports. Atwood monster, for example, is one of the more famous ones. The Mothman. That story itself is laced with UFO lore. Just West Virginia is wild and weird.
Yeah, it's definitely is. I mean, it's pretty much the whole state as far as that goes. I don't think we could pick one spot. I know some people think that it's, up north, there's more sightings or whatnot, but we get sightings from literally everywhere. So, no, I think it's pretty much the whole state. I mean, some can be explained, obviously, but some can't. No, those zigzag things can't be explained.
Right. Lana Cat, if you're interested in seeing some actual UFO footage, you can head over to Wild and Weird WV. Well, it's on our YouTube. I know you're watching from Facebook, but if you go to our YouTube, we actually have some footage that you can watch. This is part of it, and those are detected on thermal imaging.
Those are moving. Mm-hmm.
And there's some even more zigzag craziness that took place.
Yeah, there's better ones over on the side.
Yep. Boone Fullwood, what's going on, brother? Hey guys, sorry I'm late. I was putting flooring down at my house. I missed everything.
Wow.
Yeah, it's all right, man. You can go back and catch it.
That's what's
Give us some
beautiful.
of them rewatch points.
That's what's beautiful about this. If you missed it, or you want to make sure that Joe really did say what you thought you heard him say,
Yeah, right.
You can go watch it.
He did. That's the answer.
I know, Ashley. I know.
But yeah, we did go way off topic, but this is the live show. It's what we do.
It is. It's what the live show is all about. If you guys don't know what the live show is, this is what it's about. And I don't know how many of you guys took the challenge up. Seriously, I told you last week to go out and at least share this with one of your friends and get them to come over and join the party. Because it's going to get better. That's all I can say about it. We keep getting some more cool stuff every week, and we have some really cool guests coming up here soon on the actual podcast. We're going to want to see.
Do any of you guys remember when people were talking about solar obliteration?
What's that? I want to hear this because
the sun's going to destroy.
It's going to be back around. So let's figure out what this is. Because what's old is someone else is going to rediscover and put on TikTok and be it'll be original to them. Project Jelly Bean or something. I don't know. You guys find it?
No.
Brandon?
About 10 years ago, a little over 10 years ago.
Okay.
Adam says, "Oh, I remember solar obliteration."
Really? I don't remember it.
You know who saved us from solar obliteration?
I know.
The Sky Daddy.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't you forget it. I mean, there's a way. That's how we have to change things, man. We have to change things by that positive manifestation. You have to think.
Some UFO researchers discovered if you block the sun.
Oh, that's what that was called. Yeah, if you block the sun, you could see like the little things moving around it. Yeah, I remember that. I did that. That came out around 1990, whenever Sightings was on, because they showed it for the first time. And they were taking video cameras, pointing them at the sun, and then you would block out the sun, and then you see all these things shooting around the sun. Most people think that they were just insects off, fairly far out there, and they probably were, to be honest. I'm not 100% sure.
Are you guys Fremalat? No, I don't think so.
I might be.
The typo got him.
And typo demons.
So what?
Did
So it's supposed
everybody,
to be,
it's Tommy. Tommy got bit by the typo demon. Scott's been fighting it all night.
It's okay.
A lot of
That's
those just
true.
look like the Tic Tacs. Yeah, they do. It's same with our footage as well.
So they're just
The
UFOs
craze on
flying
the
around
internet.
the sun.
People,
What is it actually?
There's just supposed to be UFOs flying around the sun, and we can see them if we block
All
out
around.
the sun.
Well, the idea was that the sun is actually causing us not to see them. So if you blot out the sun, take your video camera and point it up, you can see them. You can do it with a cell phone too. It's the same. I've done it. Just blot out the sun, like go out to like an overhang where there's like a roof or something, and just get the sun and eclipse it. And when you do that, you'll catch all these little things moving around, and you'll figure out most of them are just skyfish.
It's sky jelly that hadn't hit the ground yet.
No, for real, I think they are insects. I'm not kidding.
The skyfish creating their sky jelly.
Yeah.
Tommy said, "Are you familiar with Dave Aldir? I'm not."
Negative.
No.
Adam says, "I recently attended a talk by John F. Wilkie. Fun stuff on solar obliteration."
He's the guy. I read in my 5 minutes of Google search.
Yeah, that's him, right?
That's the guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's probably the guy that was on sightings.
Well, what's his
Probably
name?
was.
When Grush did the when he did the hearing with the other two guys. Oh my God, what are their names?
Yeah, him. I know who you're talking about.
You know, the other two guys. The one guy, I think it's
Yeah,
Grave.
the military guy, Commander Fravor and what was the other guy?
You can't remember his name.
I think it's Graves. I think it's the younger
It is.
guy.
Graves and Fravor. That's right.
Graves.
You got the last one.
So, you know what he was saying, I 100% subscribe to. He's like, these things don't leave. It's not like there's one here at one time and then they come back. They're always here all the time. Groups of them constantly. We just can't always detect them. And maybe that's because they are so high up in the atmosphere that we don't have technology that can detect it. And maybe that's what the whole blocking out the sun deal is.
Maybe.
You could just kind of see them a little bit better. Or, maybe it's skyfish. I don't know, but I think that he's right. I think that there's this whole other world that's working that we just can't see.
Yeah.
Tommy says he claimed that in 2012 the sun had a solar flare that was supposed to have had happened, and for some reason it was supposed to have killed all of us, and it was blocked by what NASA called an anomaly.
Okay, I vaguely remember when this happened.
Scientists who worked for NASA.
I vaguely remember when this happened. They were theorizing that we were supposed to have an eclipse, or not eclipse, a solar flare, and it was. Where did that come from? I just chalked it up to the doomsayers, because they've always been around. But I'm pretty sure that was supposed to be the year after 2012, 2013, and it was one of the big things going around. I remember part of this, but only
part of that Mayan calendar thing.
Oh,
Probably.
well, they were trying to relate it to that, but they said it was going to be something to do with a solar flare. I do remember that part. But
That's another, every little bit it comes around, solar flares.
Oh yeah. Every time we go through solar maximum, it's like, oh my God, we're gonna die.
It's a red warning.
Oh God.
Remember that a couple weeks back?
Just a few weeks back.
We're in a red warning.
Yep. That's right.
Everybody watch for the moon to turn blood red. Jesus is coming back.
Yeah, it's the fear mongers. You gotta love them.
But to be fair, solar flares, we just assume that they can't hurt us because having
they can hurt us.
We're just like, it's not a danger. It's not a problem.
Oh, they can hurt us bad.
It hasn't been yet, right? And that's it. That's the only reason.
Yes.
It probably will. One of these.
The last one, because they all died.
Yeah. Well, they didn't die. They just had other things that they had to worry about.
That's what happened to the dinosaurs.
Forgot about it. So, yeah, these things happen.
Space.
Oh man, this has been a fun show.
It's been all over the place.
It has been.
It is.
But that's the live show. You know how it goes. You've been on the other side over in the chat, and you've watched how sporadic it gets.
Oh Lord, Boone.
I saw what Boone said. It said, let's talk
Boone?
about Admiral Byrd and the flat earth theory. We're going to save that one for another live because
How dare you?
that'll be
Infuriating. We're going to make sure that the whole house is full if we're going to do that.
We start that right now. We're going to be here till 1 a.m.
Yeah,
I
I want
heard
to make
this is
sure.
a family-friendly show, and I'm not going to be very nice, so it's not.
Right.
I want to make sure we have a full house so we can
Pat says if
watch them drop.
Pat says if it's going to kill us all, that's more than a solar flare. It would be coronal mass ejection. A much bigger event. It would be.
Yeah.
It would be. Scott Holbrook coming in.
Sky jelly him.
Oh.
They're so majestic when they fly away like that.
I
remember there was a game that I played that had giant jellyfish like things in the sky.
Oh man, they had that in Invaders, and it was in Galaga.
No, it was more recent than that, Joe. Come on. Galaga.
Hey man, I got a pocket Galaga right back here behind me.
I mean, he's not wrong though. They are in Galaga.
Yeah, they are.
I just told on myself I'm old. There's a reason I'm bald.
I thought all your hair fell out to make room for your big brain.
That was it. It was the last solar flare we had.
Is that what it was?
My hair was the anomaly that saved us.
He was outside when it hit.
Nice.
Sacrifice itself.
Well, you know.
Oh God, this has been.
You've not heard stories about how he was zapped into other dimensions for a short period of time.
Well, the needs of the few do outweigh the needs of the many.
That's
That's what Spock said, and I believe Spock. So, yeah.
Oh, it reminds me of Boston's album cover. It does. I can see that.
Well, you know, I mean, the
Pat
band.
said Subnautica, maybe. Subnautica did have some weird jellyfish creatures in it.
Yeah.
I don't know that one. Hey, you know what I just got?
Switch and
I just got. I just did the pre-order for the
years ago.
The new Ghostbusters VR for.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, it's even more fun if somebody would buy one, the same game, because we can play it together.
Right. I need to start doing that, don't I? I've got a 30% off coupon I need to use for Meta, so I should do that.
Yeah. But yeah.
Oh man, guys, this is a fun show. Ashley, thanks for joining us. We've had a great time.
Hello. Ashley, did you have fun? Are you sad that you joined us? I mean, I'd be
really depressed. I regret every decision tonight.
Well, we'll talk about it later.
Just rub some star jelly on it, you'll be fine.
No.
Just
all-purpose star jelly. No, I enjoyed it. I'll come back anytime.
Awesome.
I'm usually here on Thursdays anyway. So
right. That way she's talking weird on Wednesdays and Thursdays is what she said.
Thursdays, yeah. I'm filling up my calendar with strange. So
weird, dear. It's weird. So it's not strange. It's weird.
So guys, if you haven't yet, go check out Ashley's podcast. It's on Wednesdays. We Talk Weird. You can find her on social media over at Instagram. It's Ashers. And you're gonna get all kinds of weird content guaranteed.
Hey, where are you speaking next, girl?
Where am I speaking next?
Yeah.
I'm taking a break to write my book until next year. Until Frogman
Are you coming
Festival.
to CryptidCon?
I might go. Probably.
You might go. Really?
I'll probably go. I'm like 2 hours. I might go. Yeah,
that's not that bad a drive.
You need to go.
It's a Saturday. I just don't want to get a room. I'm cheap.
Yeah.
It's getting to be the holidays. I got a child, you guys. It's
I feel you there. I get it.
You're right.
But I might go. Yeah, I'm not speaking anywhere until I think it's the first weekend of March. Frogman Festival 2 in Loveland, Ohio.
Very cool.
I have a brand new presentation that I will be giving. It's never before seen, and I think I'm also the MC. I'm pretty sure again. So I'll be there.
Awesome.
So,
Well, guys, it's been awesome. Thank you all for hanging out with us tonight. We appreciate each and every one of you guys. You're all amazing. Again, one last shout out. This show is brought to you by our super chatters, the executive producer, Adam Good, Theresa of Theresa's Haunted History of the Tri-State, Dewey Edwards, Spooky Appalachia. Everybody remember Spooky and his dog tonight. It's, bad situation. Larry Hose, Guitarchains Craig, Travis Aurednik, Geoffrey Steele, Russ Bailey, Chris Coots, Ada Cox, Nancy White, Scott Holbrook, BigfootLittlefoot, Tommy Swiger, and Terri Summerfield. Then over in the comments, we got one last one here. It says, anyone else have dress up for Halloween? I'm going to be one as Bigfoot. Keep up the good job, guys.
Be careful.
Weekend. Be careful with that. Don't get shot.
For the love of goodness, just be careful doing that, and don't let anyone take your picture. I don't want to have to do this. Just we don't want any more work.
Right.
Okay? So yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna go make peanut butter and star jelly sandwich and miss dinner. Thanks for the laughs and great info. Glad you had a good time. See you next week. Same weird channel.
That's
same wild time. Gonna be 8:00 Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Bring your
hang out with
peanut
us.
butter and star jelly.
Peanut butter and star jelly. That's a new thing. Yeah,
it's a new thing.
Yeah.
All right, so be here tomorrow night, 8:00 p.m. Eastern, as we debut the what's the name of it? I don't remember. Attack of the Sky Creatures. I think it's going to be the name of it. You'll love it. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it's very informative. I'm not kidding you. I learned a lot during this. I think we all did, actually.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's
it was a fun episode. You guys will like it.
It's a great episode. It's a great and informative episode. And when you go away from it, you're actually going to be like, hey, I learned something. So I'll see you then. Joe, take us home.
All right, guys. If you want to hang out and catch us and stay tuned with more Wild and Weird content, you can go to YouTube and look up Wild and Weird WV, or you can go to wildandweirdwv.com. You've got links to everything there. It's going to be a good time. If you have had a sighting report, go over to wildandweirdwv.com and click on the sightings report tab, and then fill out all the questionnaires. Then give us a brief summary of your sighting. We'll be in touch shortly after that. And remember, everybody, this one's for you, Wayne. Hang in, stay wild and weird forever.